Actually, if Morrisville win, we'll have 6 games here next weekend.
You're sharp, man. So it's a same team.
Thought you'd be so happy.
Oh, the Fire are gonna come here?
No, if Morrisville win, then the Fire don't have a choice. New Jersey probably want to come here.
That's true. Stallions are playing here, Anderson. We had about 30 together, Kev. But I mean, as you as cameraman.
I don't know if it makes you feel any better, but the Raptors have 7 new guys in the team today. 7 new players in the 11 today. Yeah, I think they just want to reward the guys who stuck it out with them the whole season. Obus is that type of guy. They're going to play here next week, Dane's that type of guy. They're going to play here next week anyhow. They don't care who they play against.
If they finish first.
If the Raptors, regardless of playing here anyhow. Yeah.
Stay the Stallions, or if they finish first.
Yeah. Atlanta don't want to come here next week, which is crazy. They just played 3 games here. It must be a money thing. Has to be a money thing.
Because we have Steven and Taylor, or Steven and Aaron, who just scored hundreds on turf. All right, Nico, what's the prediction?
The Atlanta team's the same, actually, from last game.
No predictions?
Looks like to me. Looking through it. Hey, I'm picking the Lightning.
Picking Lightning?
Yeah, I got a chance to catch up today. I'm 2-2 right now.
There you go. Here's your chance.
There's no hard choice now.
Pete, can you go to Atlanta Lightning first in terms of team, because Nate wants to speak about Morrisville. Yeah, Lightning first.
Yeah, I'll speak about Morrisville. Yeah, it works out great.
All right, good luck, boys.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
A new era for American cricket began in 2021.
There he goes into a dive! What a catch!
The rise of cricket was celebrated across the country. Now, with big wickets and even bigger hits, the stars of minor league cricket are back and better than ever.
Parchment goes huge!
Don't miss the nation's largest league competing for the biggest prize in American cricket. The Toyota Minor League Championship returns this summer, live on Willow TV.
Well, one final game in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, and I mean one game in the group stage round, because next weekend from this beautiful venue we'll have the playoffs, and both these teams something to play for the Raptors. They want to top the group if they win today. They've got an experienced team who pulled off a thriller of a victory last night against this Lightning team. Second time they've beaten them on the final delivery. And the Atlanta Lightning will be looking for vengeance and looking for a way to rebound in this game on Sunday. Primetime action here at Church Street Park, North Carolina, in Morrisville, of course. My good friend Nate Hayes, as he always is alongside me. Nate, now, the Morrisville Raptors, the equation is simple. If they win this game, they go to the top of the Southern Division, and of course, it would mean that they have home court advantage. How important do you think it is for them to win?
Well, I'm not really sure how important it is. I talked to Dane Pete after the game yesterday, after that stunning win. He told me he doesn't care who they have to play in the first round next week. We probably will see this ground used in the playoffs anyways by Morrisville, because it makes sense to feature such a good ground in the playoffs. So I don't think they really care.
Well, very interesting. Of course, the Atlanta Lightning and the Morrisville Raptors. The Lightning are officially eliminated from the tournament after the Fire were defeated today. Who's your pick, Nate, to top the group if you had to choose one?
I'm going to go with Atlanta Fire. Honestly, based on the net run rate, I don't think the Raptors are going to win today. I think Atlanta Lightning is going to want to finish on a really strong note. And, yeah, they have the potential to do that. It's tough to beat them 2 times in a row.
Well, last night it was all about that thrilling encounter between the two teams. Boy, was that something special. We had a toss earlier between the two captains, Dane Pete, who joined us in the commentary box before, and, of course, Carey Pear in his final game before he goes off to the CPL. The toss won by Dane Pete, who opted to bat first. Carey Pear was disappointed because he just can't win a toss in this tournament so far. But Pete opting to bat first means that the Lightning will have first ball, and they're unchanged today after their narrow defeat in the final delivery last night. It would have been a heartbreak for them. A very strong team, strong batting lineup as they showed yesterday, recovering from 19 for 3.
And that nice-looking Atlanta Lightning squad will take on 6 new Morrisville Raptors. You've got Aryan Shah back in the team. He played on Friday. You've got Chinmay Kushari, Rohan Fadki back in the team. He was the 12th man. He took a stunning catch yesterday. I want you to pay a little extra attention to Muhammad Abdullah Shah. He'll likely be opening the batting for the Morrisville Raptors. But Matthew Ford continues. Lahiru Malantha, obviously Obus and Dane.
Yeah, they will have to rely on the experience of Lahiru Malantha at the top of the order a bit more in this innings. Just without some of their key members, Vinod Kumar, Kendaswamy, out of the team today, probably to give an opportunity to some of the other players. So they will want to get off to a good start in the power play, as Lahiru Malantha so often does. He's really been a revelation in this tournament, Malantha. When you look at, first of all, always a smile on his face. 482 runs. Cornwall leading the conference. Malantha a close second. Raheem Cornwall, we saw earlier today, he's gone to 535. But Malantha will have an eye on wanting to win the runs battle in the Atlantic Conference. And his partner for today,
Muhammad Abdullah Shah in the middle for the Raptors. He's played 2 games this season. He's got a lot of power. He's not a traditional batsman, but he can really light up the scoreboard.
So Malantha, the left-hander. So Malantha and his new opening partner. Now, Nate, what is the key for some of these youngsters? Just the one game before next week's playoffs. What is the key for them to sort of make an impact in this game today?
Well, I love this move by Dane Pete to reward these youngsters by putting them in this last game of the season. I think the entire team, it's a very close-knit team. They're going to be cheering for each other. Nobody's going to be upset that they're out of the 11 today. But yeah, they're going to want to give these youngsters experience so that they know what they get a chance to test what they've got coming next season.
Well, just about ready to get underway. It's going to be Malantha, the experienced man, playing tons of games back in Sri Lanka for the A team, facing the first delivery. Kyle Phillip bowling to him with the new ball in hand. First delivery starts on the money. It's something that Kyle Phillip, I thought, did extremely well yesterday. It was all about the line. Was straight at the body of the opposition batters. Bowled very well in that loss, Kyle Phillip. You look at his figures, very improved. He has been expensive. Just 22 runs conceded, and picked up a wicket in the 4.
Kyle, one of the quickest bowlers in the league.
Full Yorker length, but again, Malantha will get off the strike and off the mark. Nate, Kyle Phillip is an interesting one because he's played only 2 games at the international level. I used to hear his name ring around in the last year or so a lot as someone that should be in that USA setup. What do you think has gone wrong, and why has he not been able to be at the highest level for the national team?
Well, I'm not very certain why. I think they want a little more consistency from him, but his name is always mentioned as a possible member of any team. A lot of people were surprised he wasn't taken when Ali Khan went down with an injury in the World Cup qualifiers.
He's picked up 13 wickets this season. Economy rate not bad, just a touch over 7.5 in the 10 innings that he's bowled in. Wide signal. You have seen that wide line be a controversial one in the last 2 games, especially between these 2 teams. A couple of decisions that could have gone either way last night. So Kyle Phillip, they like to go wide with that slip in place. He's going to have to get it right. Probably the right decision in the end on the wrong side of that wide line.
And we see Muhammad Abdullah Shah going for that ball. That's the way he plays. He's a very aggressive batter. He's going to score big, or he's going to get out.
Getting the ball to just beat the outside edge. So Morrisville Raptors coming on off a high last night. It was scenes here at Church Street Park. Were they able to win? Hits the deck hard, Kyle Phillip. What a win that was, Nate. As a Morrisville native yourself, how much did you enjoy that win on the last delivery of the innings?
Oh, it was absolutely electric. I wasn't on commentary for those last 5 overs, so I was sitting amongst the crowd. I had goosebumps.
What a delivery. What a delivery. Big swing from Shah. He's trying to make a difference, the youngster.
Yeah, you can see here the pace of Kyle Phillip and the quality of his line and length right now. A little bit too much for Muhammad Shah on that ball.
It's just his second game this season, Muhammad Abdul Shah. So he'll be looking to really get Shah. So he'll be looking to make a difference. Just the 10 runs coming into this game. Over the top. Not convincing, but there is that deep third fielder in place. Just be a single.
And Shah is off strike. Happily, I'm sure. You don't really see Kyle Phillip's pace in the local leagues here. Well, you don't really see them in the local leagues anywhere in the USA.
One thing I wonder about Kyle Phillip, how much does it affect him that the fact that he plays his cricket in Atlanta, where they have synthetic surfaces, not conducive for fast bowling, they're very slow. You can't really have your full run-up. So I wonder how much that's affected him over the years and having to adjust. It's very hard when you're not able to play that consistent level of cricket. End of the first over, a good one for the Lightning, just 5 conceded.
You mentioned the synthetic surface that a lot of cricketers play on in the USA. Yeah, sometimes it's awfully springy too, so that affects the length that a quick, tall bowler is going to bowl for sure. Hiro Malantha going at a run a ball. Abdullah Shah 1 from 3. That's a 5-run over.
I look at the surface today. This was early this morning where you can see that darker color, some overnight moisture from the dew factor, some sweating from the covers. So want to keep it together, the ground staff here. They've done an excellent job to have now what would be 5 games of cricket on this same surface. Saw them doing some work to the other surface left, the one on the left, watering it. I'm sure that will be ready in a few weeks' time.
Sid Matani with the ball. Hoping to get back into form that he was in over the July 4th weekend here when he was absolutely unhittable.
Oh yes, this man not playing. This man is not here to play cricket here, fellas. Not here to play cricket.
Hanchard Hamilton.
Going. Very nervous start here, man.
Always
Very
vocal,
nervous
always
start. Yes,
loud,
long work,
always
long work.
animated behind the stumps.
None. E.T.
It's a good start so far by Sirat Matani. He's kept Abdullah Shah, the young man, quiet so far.
He's going there. Yes! Dad. Yeah, man, I feel it, man.
Missing
Bowling
the
acidic,
edge there.
bowling acidic.
Yeah, we've had so many active.
Catch him up. Come city, man.
Slaps that hard down the ground, long on in place.
Yeah, we've had a lot of active keepers this weekend.
You go and see
We've
if
been
it's
treated
working,
to
don't change it,
a
yeah?
lot of entertainment from behind the stumps.
If it's working, don't change it.
This game showing a lot of promise for that to continue.
Yeah. Who no loop on that ball for him, you see? No loop on that ball for him. He
There you
coming
got
down, you know,
Hamilton.
He's coming down for sure. Okay.
Sledging away.
Coming down for
Hero enjoying it,
Adi,
not phased by any keeper's tricks.
you go back here.
Hanchard Hamilton, we mentioned him with behind the stumps, but talk about him with the bat in hand. 5 consecutive half centuries. That's got to be some type of minor league record. And I'll be excited to see what he can do with the bat in hand. 5 innings in a row where he's got 50 or more. And while his strike rate probably is one that he'll want to improve on, just around 120 in his 2022 season, he's played some real innings of quality. This year, he's gone to the most runs, 257. Average of 44. Run out chance to get through for the single. Milanta has been a slow start, which we have seen because of the surface. End of 2. 7 for none.
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom.
Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Good to see the familial support out here. Who is that, Nate?
That is Marika Oiba-Spinar's wife with her family there, enjoying the nice sunny day.
Lahir Milanta will face Kyle Phillips. This is interesting. Coming around the wicket to the left-hander, wanting to angle the ball into the stumps. Goes full at the stumps, but it's a better shot, top-class shot from Lahir Milanta. He'll get his first boundary. Boy, this is a man that you want to dismiss early in his innings.
The hero is showing no signs of slowing down at any point this season. He has been absolutely brilliant for the Raptors. Always seems to be right around 50 runs. He scored 40 runs or more in every innings except 2 this season.
Sent back. Abdullah Shah wants to strike, but you look at his performances against the Atlanta Lightning. The very first time that was back at the Atlanta Cricket Fields, he got to 26 in 19 deliveries. Then last night, 47 from 33. So tonight he'll be looking, today he'll be looking to push on from that. 91 being his best score this season. Came against the Atlanta Fire. Wow, has he got that well? Milanta comes down the track, looking to take the attack to Kyle Phillips. And whilst he didn't quite get out the middle of the bat, and the most important thing was that he got it in the gap.
Yeah, take a look from this. This is a great angle to see that. Yeah, like you said, he caught the gap just well, just right, I mean. Might not have middled it, but he timed it well.
I find that so interesting, that boundary. It tells you about the extra pace of Kyle Phillips. He came down the track. We'll look at it again. Down the track and just... It was the ball that actually met the bat rather than Milanta, because he was through the shot, but the ball rushed onto him so quickly. Fortunately for him, it was in the gap on a boundary. So 2 boundaries in the over now. After a good start from Phillips, he just conceded 5 in the very first over. And how they used Kyle Phillips, I think I'm very interested. Yesterday, he bowled the 16th over to complete his 4. I thought maybe he could have been backed to bowl that penultimate or one of those overs at the back end of the innings when you had runs to defend. Goes over the top this time. Milanta, has he got it well? Yes, he has. 3rd was in place on the boundary, but too much work for Sarah Matani to do.
Wonderful over here to make up for the slow start in the first 2 overs for the Raptors. And yeah, Nikhil, I think you're right. I think I would have loved to have Kyle Phillips come back and bowl that final over yesterday, especially after he got beat on the final ball. The last time the Raptors played him, you know he wanted to get revenge. He's that type of a player. Instead, Heath Richards was the victim on the final ball. Great shot there by Lahiru.
Time to perfection Full toss, easy pickings for Lahir Malanta. And boy, this is a monster you don't want to wake up. It's 4 boundaries in the over, 23 for none.
Just what they needed there to recover from the first 2 overs. And there's Lahiro, 20 from 11. Typical Lahiro Malanta start.
Here we go, lads.
Abdullah
Here we
Shah
go, lads.
struggling right now, 2 from 7. He really just needs to focus on getting off strike.
So it's going to be Carey Pear. And I like this move from Pear. I haven't seen him with the new ball inside the power play, but he does this job in the CPL for the TKR Trinbago Knight Riders.
Such an exciting team, the Knight Riders. Ali Khan from USA.
In this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Final game for a lot of these West Indian players. 2 on your screen. Terrence Hines and Carey Pear, who will be traveling back to Trinidad before they play for the Trinbago Knight Riders in the Caribbean Premier League. And that's going to be interesting to see how teams adjust. The Raptors will lose Matthew Ford. The Lightning, a couple. We saw earlier the Atlanta Fire. They'll lose Raheem Cornwall. So teams and how they adapt with the loss of those players will be very interesting to see. And by extension, you look around the tournament. Get back to that after this delivery. Down the leg side, wide, and they're going to get... No, they won't get a single. You look at the other teams that have qualified. The Mustangs, they've brought in Dinesh Ramdin, who's not in the CPL, surprisingly, to help with that, with the loss of some of their players. The Silicon Valley Strikers have lost 2, Raymond Rifa and Roshan Primus, so they've brought in Lendl Simmons. Nate Hayes, who's a very destructive player on his day. Just recently, of course, retired from international cricket, Lendl Simmons. So if they do get here to North Carolina, a place where the Silicon Valley Strikers were last year when they won the tournament, it'll be interesting to see those players. The Dallas Mustangs, though, watch out for them. Sujit Gowda, Dinesh Ramdin. Very exciting bunch.
Yeah, the Mustangs finishing first in the Central Division, taking on the 2nd place West team when that's decided today.
Pushed into the onside. Yeah, that other conference going down to the wire today, Nate. When you think about the teams in the Pacific, all not finished theirs yet, where the Dallas Mustangs are through, but the Michigan Cricket Stars could get in, the Tigers could get in the other zone, the Blazers, the Thunderbolts, all up for grabs.
Not looking good for the Stars right now.
Gonna be runs. Beats Kyle Phillip in the circle. And shot. Hasn't been easy for him, but he'll get 2. That will help.
Slowly creeping up towards a run on ball there. But yeah, you mentioned the Dallas Mustangs. They're through. They clinched the 1st place in the Central. The Michigan Stars need to beat them today in order to make the playoffs. Right now, it's not looking good for them. Dallas Mustangs, 53 without loss, chasing 119.
Shah's found the fielders. It's been a struggle for him. Got over so far from Pear. Hasn't conceded a boundary. It'll be important for the Lightning to close out this season with a win. In the air, but over that fielder. Oh, sorry, the fielder being back on the boundary. Yeah, I think the Lightning will feel a bit hard done by. And I mean, they have no one to blame except the rain gods. We'll talk about that in the next over. End of 4, 29 for none.
One more to go. One more ball? One ball to go.
There's a look at Lahiro Malanta. 21 from 12. Abdullah Shah slowing him down a bit right now. He'll want to stay off strike for a while.
Well, in that Atlantic Conference, things pretty much settled. It's just about seeding from here on in. It'll be the Stallions and the Yorkers. And from the other group, well, the Fire and the Raptors, we don't know the order as yet. Well, Pierre had one more delivery left in the over, and this has been deposited over cover. Lahiro Malanta backing himself in the matchup against the left arm spinner. Doing extremely well, gone for a maximum to end. Now finally the over comes to an end, 35 for none.
Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys.
Great finish to the over from Lahiru. We see him move his feet a lot. We see him move around in the crease a lot to create space for himself, give him access to different parts of the ground. He did it right there.
Next time, please. Next time. Thank you.
Nate, Lahiro Malanta, boy, is he some special talent that we have in this minor league. And in a couple years' time, when he's eligible to play for the US, along with Andreas Gauss, who we've seen play for Seattle, Shehan Jayasuriya from Silico, Unmuk Chan, and all these players coming into the States, moving here. Tell you, boy, the standard of cricket overall in this country is going to take a step to the next level. The US team will be a hard one to make, as it is already. We've already seen the competition for places increase. Of course, the USA men's team in Scotland at the moment in that League 2 series.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of benefit from minor league cricket already, helping the selectors when they're choosing their T20 team. Well played there by Abdullah Shah, just getting off strike, letting Lahiru take over.
Keep going here, fellas. Keep going here, fellas.
A lot of spin being used inside this power play. Just the 2 overs of seam from Kyle Phillip. So far it's been Siddharth Matani and Kerry Peer done the bulk of the bowling so far. I'm surprised at how readily they've gone to Matani inside the power play. He's one that goes for runs, Siddharth Matani. It's never easy as an off spinner. He likes to flight the ball. Just too easy from Lahiro Malanta. Just too easy. I don't think it may have just been stopped before it got to the boundary rope. Good work by Kyle Phillip, pulling the fast bowler, pulling out the big left boot.
Nice little flourish to the end of that shot from Lahiro Malanta. Let's see how it stopped. Just shy. That toe, let's see if that toe touched. Maybe it did, but it doesn't matter.
Catch him! Thank you.
Gone. That will be a huge wicket for the Atlanta Lightning. It was just tossed up. Lahiro Malanta he'll feel really disappointed because he will back himself to find the gap on that occasion. Instead, he picks up Mark Parchment, who makes no mistake.
Yeah, this might be why they went to Sid Matani with the lefty in. As much as the Raptors rely on Lahiro, as much as they've ridden his innings to victory this season.
Well, it was tossed up, it was short, and Malanta, well, he would have backed himself with just the one fielder at long off in the offside on the boundary. Instead, a good catch from Mark Parchment. A good start from Malanta, but he's got to go for 29, 38 for 1. Now, Lahiro Malanta walking back. This means that work to be done for the Morrisville Raptors.
Here comes Chinmay.
I want to ask you, Nate, about the decision to rest Vinod Kumar Kendaswamy. It's been a pretty interesting run for him. Yesterday, we saw him get in the runs. He got to 50, match-winning innings against the Lightning. I'm kind of surprised, though, even though he's got to the 242 runs, a couple of starts where he hasn't kicked on. I thought with that momentum, the Morrisville Raptors would have wanted to keep him playing and keep him in that rhythm.
Yeah, I think he's riding a high right now. I've seen a lot of smiles from him. He's a fun guy. He's a very good player. He's been playing great this season. But yeah, I think they want to give these guys a reward.
Koshari, indecision, but the throw is wayward. They're going to get overthrows as well. Siddharth Matani was begging to throw to the bowler's end. They did that, but it was just too high. Could have easily been a run out, and that's a risk you get when you have your young players at the crease together. Just a bit of nerves. That was the wicket again. Very short on the shorter side of things, but Melanta, after that start, he just looked majestic in that 29, as he so often does when he comes to the crease. We were disappointed he couldn't kick on and pick up what would have been his 6th half-century of the season.
Yeah, we've seen Chinmay Kushari here batting before for the Raptors this season. If I know Dane, he's going to back every one of these players. He's going to treat them all like they're a regular part of the 11.
End of the 5, 40 for 1. Change of commentary as well. Big wicket going so far. They do, of course, have Jacob Espiniar, Matthew Ford, Dane Pete. A couple of new names in. Aryan Shah, the youngster, back into the 11 today for the Raptors. Well, the wicket in the last over from Siddharth Matani, getting Lahira Melanta, caught that extra cover on the edge of the circle. And Mark Parchment taking a good catch. On the leg side, we'll have to rebowl that Carey Pear in for his second over. First one was expensive. He bowled well up until the final delivery, where he was just stumped over the boundary for 6.
Yeah, I feel comfortable bowling to Abdullah Shah, who hasn't gotten things going yet. But you can see the ploy to go into the pads.
Come skip it, doesn't look like you. Come on, Kyrie, man.
Good to hear that they're animated, the Lightning, even though that they're
like you,
out of this tournament, that they're still chirping, want to end on a winning note. Wicket and success for Carey Pear. Shah has struggled in this innings and just full, tossing one up much slower in terms of the velocity. And at the stumps, Carey Pear strikes and gets its first wicket.
Well, Carey Pear, he's been attacking the pads of Mohammad Abdullah Shah all day long. And Mohammad Abdullah Shah, he likes to go down the ground, likes to go big. And just felt he had one in his arc. Again, like you said, the change of pace just undid Shah as he swung all around it. And he's going to have to go, and the second wicket falls for the Morrisville Raptors. It's now 41 for the loss of 2.
Well, Jacob Espiniar also been Mr. Reliable with the bat in hand. It's really been him and Melanta this season that have carried the weight. Jacob Espiniar, over 800 career runs in the minor league from South Africa. He's been brilliant. And what an addition for the Morrisville Raptors. They both have been this season. Success for Carey Pear early on in his spell. Still bowling inside of the power play.
And I like this from the Morrisville Raptors to keep their important players in touch. You talk about Lahiru, who's been such a staple for them and so big when they have found success. Same thing with Obis PNR. Keep them in flow, in rhythm. Don't want to risk any rust settling on them as you head to the playoffs.
Off the mark straight away, Obis PNR. That was the wicket again, just flighted. Carey Pear bowls very quickly through the air, but on that occasion, just flighted it. And
middle, please.
Simple target at the stumps. Shot playing all around it. So Kushari looking to push on for his team. Is just his 4th match, Chinmay Kushari. How much do you know about him as a player and an option for this Raptors team?
Yeah, it's an option that was just used one time throughout this season, and he's someone who is very classical, likes to just push it into gaps, not going to take you on aerial.
If they can just sneak one more wicket here, the Atlanta Lightning, to close up the power play, they'll feel very good about taking 3 wickets early. They did it yesterday. That was the Raptors who did it and took 3 wickets for just 19 runs against this Lightning team. The Lightning were able to recover to a position of 178 after the 20 overs. Very good from Pear. Very good, very consistent. Just 3 runs from the over and a wicket. End of the power play, 43 for 2.
Well done, Sydney. That's it, fellas. That's the standard, eh?
Just take a look at the power play here. You see a couple of big overs, and those predominantly on the bat, off the bat of Lahiru Malanta. That third over, that fourth over, the two biggest of the day. The third going for 16, the fourth going for 12. But ever since that Lahiru Malanta wicket, things have just slowed down. Abdullah Shah never looked comfortable. Chinmay Kushate just taking his time. And Obis PNR, he's just stuck at the non-striker's end.
Yes, Adi. Somewhere to go there. Stay 45, stay 45.
So it will be a new bowler into the attack. Haven't seen much of young Aditya Sharma, but he is coming in. I know one of the younger players in this Atlanta Lightning team, one of the under-21 options.
Left arm orthodox, so he's gonna like the wicket. Gets a little bit of turn. He's predominantly slower through the air and keeps it on a length. Again, young Aditya Sharma doesn't turn it much. Most deliveries would carry on with the arm, but that was at the Atlanta Cricket Field. So we'll see what he can do here at Church Street Park. If he can utilize the turn, that is on offer.
Well, Kushare does the right thing, even though it goes through Jesse Bhutan at point. It will be a boundary. He's looking to get Obis Pinyar on strike to take on the matchup, but a good way to attack the youngster. Has to be much straighter than that. Aditya Sharma.
Yeah, a bit of width on offer. And again, Chinmay Kushate, he's someone who just looks to stroke it around. You can see there, look to get back to cut it. Aerial for a moment, but just away from that fielder inside the ring. Much welcome boundary for the Morrisville Raptors.
Much better delivery, much better. Slightly quicker, flatter, and at the stumps mainly.
You would have watched yesterday and seen what Kerry Pierre did, and today as well. Pierre's been spot on from the early goings.
I love this line from young Sharma. It's been very straight since being struck for that boundary. And it's good as well to see that he can adjust very quickly. Signs of a young prospect. And happy that he's able to get some overs in. He did play yesterday, but wasn't given an over in an important game. Last night, Drew might have been a factor as well. Always tough to grip the ball as a spinner.
Now he has a whole different task, and he's got Obis PNR, and you can see he's coming over the wicket to Obis PNR to try to change the angle. We know how good a player of spin Obis is.
Ball. Keep going.
Yeah, Obis Pinyar will relish the opportunity to face the young left arm spinner. I'm interested to see how he goes about this innings, though. Pinyar got a very important 41 from just 31 deliveries last night. But he's going to be important after losing the wicket to Lahiru Malanta to ensure that they can take the game and build a platform. Take the game on and build a platform. Another single out to those sweepers in the onside. They want to bat these two probably until the 12th over at least, knowing the power that they have to come, even making some changes. Matthew Ford, Dane Pete into the 11 still. Oh, much quicker delivery from Sharma. Like the look of this young man. Just 6 runs from his first over. And end of 7. Alan Patel, I asked Nate Hayes earlier, which team is going to win this Southern Division? Look how close it is. Who's your pick?
Yeah, it had the fire coming into the day, and I thought they would come out with a big performance. And again, I think the Raptors aren't going to be able to get quite over the line just because they're testing a lot of new options. Always tough to see what a side can bring with 6 changes from yesterday. So I think the Fire do end up topping this table. But again, we'll get to see action at Church Street Park either way here next week.
I must say, ladies and gentlemen, I am shocked because the two Morrisville natives, Nate Hayes and Aman Patel, have both gone against their home team. Good for a neutral perspective. Terrence Hines into the attack. Goes wide. Bat may have just hit the ground on the way through.
Yeah, well, Nico, we can't pick the Raptors all the time. We got to throw a curveball in there every now and again.
Of course, you picked against them, Aman, when it means nothing to their playoff chances.
What better time, Nico? What better time than today? I told you yesterday I picked them. Yesterday going into that final over. Terrence Hines, he was so good yesterday. He was so hard to put away. Did have an issue overstepping and kind of kept the Raptors in the game through those extras. But when he bowled legal deliveries, he was so hard to connect off of and score off of. So Kushade has his work cut out for him.
Yeah, there were bold calls by Vijay Malela at that stage of the innings. Tell you, the umpires keep saying it. They've got a tough job. I told Dane Pete so. Very difficult job. And Gary Pierre will want his team to rebound from that. They'll be thinking about next season as well, the Atlanta Lightning. It's their first year in the minor league, this 2022 edition. So they want to ensure that they can build on this performance where they come up short, but very full delivery down the leg side. You never know, Aman Patel, what could have happened had those two rained out games against the Atlanta Fire actually been played.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing they're going to hold on to. Take a look at this delivery, that Yorker length, just a bit of bat on it. Excuse me, just straying down the leg side rather. But when we talk about those two rain delays, this is going to be a separation of 1 point. If the Lightning were to win today, it's 1 point between the top three teams. You just think, had you played one of those games, how differently could this division look?
Well, correction, it was the Fire and the Fort Lauderdale Lions, the two games that were abandoned, both by inclement weather. But they will look to build on this year's performance. And they would have lost two of their important players as well had they moved on to the playoffs. It would have always been tough for them to play without their captain, Gary Pierre, without Terrence Hines, and Jesse Boutan. But they would have liked to be there in with a chance. You never know in those playoff stages. I've seen a lot from this team that I think they'll build on going into 2023. Last couple of overs have been really good. First runs off this over.
Yeah, the Lightning, again, they started off strong here at Church Street Park. They scored 200 plus against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, and it was always going to be tough coming into the Southern Division with the Fire, with the Raptors, and they held their own all the way through. Shamar Springer was really talented for them, and I think this is a good opportunity for them to finish on the right note, but also see what they have, and I like the fact they're using young Aditya Sharma and just seeing what he has, and you're thinking about next year's draft, you know, who is the guys you're going to bring back, who are the guys you feel you can afford to lose, and eyes on next season, can only feel they're going to get better in 2023.
End of 8, 52 for 2.
1, 2, 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
Aditya Sharma comes back into the attack with a good first over. We were speaking about the Atlanta Lightning in the last over.
Yeah, Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie.
Into the onside. Into the onside. Yeah, sorry, Aman Patel. What I was saying in the last over is the fact that I think they've done some good business this year. When you look at the players that they've gone after in their first season, the ownership group there, in their very first season, what they've done well. No, only if they're on their phone is fine. They're not I was sorry, Aman Patel. I know it's been a up and down in terms of my point, but what I'm trying to say is you look at Hanchard Hamilton, Sagar Patel, Shamar Springer. These are guys, even Kyle Phillip, of the native Atlanta area who have played for the Fire last season. So we've been very familiar with conditions at the Atlanta cricket fields. And even Mark Parchment and his dad, of course, Coach Parchy, as they like to call him, all coming from the Fire. They did that good bit of scouting to get those experienced Atlanta players in. Hit outside the line. But just one run from this over so far for Aditya Sharma.
Nada that ball, Adi. Made over to him, yeah. Catch him now!
Good stop. Really well stopped by Siddharth Matani on the edge of that circle, because it would have been a boundary, and they're keeping the pressure on that rate. Just a touch over 6 and over. You have to keep the boundaries to a minimum.
And just getting back to your point, as you see this incredible save from Siddharth Mathani about their scouting. Siddharth Mathani playing for the San Diego Surf Riders last year. They brought him in. Kyle Phillip, part of the Fort Lauderdale Lions, bringing him in.
Get him, Adi! Adi, get up! Pick it up!
So they just found the right pieces at the right time to help their side.
3 from the over, 55 for 2.
Umpire, we're looking. Good. Looking good, boy. Thank you. Why you lead? Adi, why you give the umpire the ball? Yeah, man. Huh? Why you give the umpire the ball? Take the ball, man. To check the ball.
Still a lot of batting to come. Matthew Ford, Dane Pete, Ron Patke, Abhiram Bolisetti, 2 of the youngsters who have been in that USA Under-19 setup. And the 2 of them very capable with the bat in hand. You have seen Patke open the batting in this tournament before for the Raptors.
Yeah, had a couple of matches early on the season, then got pushed to the middle order. But we know what he can do at the bat. That's the reason he was selected for that Under-19 team just a couple of years ago. Abhiram Bolisetti's already shown his prowess, 44 from 22 against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. And much needed knock from him. Also had a couple of innings that just kind of changed the game and turned things around for the Morrisville Raptors.
Heath Richards into the attack. Has picked up 13 wickets in this tournament. Been a leading wicket taker for the Atlanta Lightning. A good addition to their team. What a shot. That is class from Chinmay Kushari. He's watched for a long time. Hasn't been the easiest of times at the crease. But boy, has that special put down Daphne News.
Yeah, a lovely shot there. We talked about his ability to play those strokes through the covers. A very technical player. That one of the technical best that we've seen. And lofted over covers, never easy. But got onto the length early and held the pose for good measure. 4 runs for the Morrisville Raptors.
.13 wickets for Richards in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco, of course. As we so often say, it's been a real seesaw type of tournament for him last night. Probably tells you the story about his tournament. Heath Richards, Aman Patel, he smashed 30 from 10 deliveries. Got them up to a very competitive total, but then was hit for 60 runs in his 4 overs. So it's just been up and down for him in the tournament. When he's fired with the ball, he hasn't been able to fire with the bat in hand. Just 70 runs total.
Yeah, and picked as a batting all-rounder too, so I don't think he's going to be too pleased with what he did through the majority of the year, but had some special innings, 4 wickets and 1.
He likes the ball wide outside the off stump on a 5th stump line. We saw it go to that in the last over. On a hard length. He's a tall man, Heath Richards. Again, he likes to hit that hard length. Chinmay Kushari, this is a very interesting opportunity for this man, because when you look at who the Morrisville Raptors their number 3 position in the tournament, Aman, has been a real struggle for them. Sanjay Stanley, who's been their go-to number 7 option, number 3 option, in 7 innings, he's only managed 64 runs. If this man could come in and get a good score and get them up to a good total, he could easily be in the team come next weekend for the playoffs.
That's the beauty of changing up the team. You get an idea of who's in the dugout. And as you mentioned, Sanjay Stanley just struggled throughout most of the year. They put Aryan Shah in there just on Friday. He didn't do much with the bat, so a golden opportunity for Chinmay Kushara, who's got an innings up top the order, but just wasn't able to convert. Now he's got an opportunity here. If he can go and make 30 to 50 runs, you just keep an interesting conversation to be had by Dane Pete and the Morrisville selection committee about who do you play at the number 3 spot.
Pinar's pulled that well, but there is that deep wicket fielder, Kyle Phillip, actually on that deep square leg boundary. Just keeps it a single. Pretty even at this stage, halfway stage, 60 for 2. Well, the Atlanta Lightning will know all too well about this, the fact that they can't relax, even after a couple of those small towers, because yesterday, after 10 overs, they were 49 for 3, and they got up to 178 batting first. Today, the Raptors are just 61 runs. But if they can have a big finish to the bat 10 overs, you can think they'll be looking maybe for 160, 170 even. Nate Hayes rejoining me. Good day to you, Nate.
Great to be here. Beautiful day at Church Street Park. Nice to walk around amongst the locals on the break.
Sharma. It'll be an interesting matchup for him. Bowling to left-handed Pinar. First delivery, smash for a boundary. Wouldn't want to be there, too short and easy for Jacobus Pinar, who's been quiet to start in his first 8 deliveries.
Quiet but a sleeping giant. Ready to wake up at any minute. We know what he's capable of. He holds the record for the fastest century in minor league cricket.
Come on, Adi! Here we go, lads. Here we go, lads. Here we go.
To the onside, just be a single. Nate Hayes, if you're now joining us. Nate, it's really been fascinating to see the work that you've done this season for the MLC. Outside of your time in the commentary box, I remember you at the Philadelphia Cricket Festival. You were going around, passing around flares and explaining the game of cricket to people who are new to the game. How have you enjoyed that, doing that sort of work for the MLC, growing the overall exposure of the game? Bowled him. The young man, Sharma, strikes inside edge onto his stumps, and that will be very disappointing for Kushari, who had got a good start, done the hard part to get in, but has given it away.
Yeah, as Aman Patel mentioned, Kushari was going to be looking at this as perhaps a tryout for that number 3 role. They've struggled there a lot. Just swung right over the top of that. But back to your question, Nikhil.
We'll get to that very soon, Nate. Kushari gone for 16, 65 for 3. The young Aryan Shah. Sorry, it's Ron Fadke actually who comes to the middle for the Morrisville Raptors. So trying to use some of their newer options, younger options.
Right, batter here.
I don't blame you for the mistake there. Assuming this might be Aryan Shah, the Raptors, good luck trying to figure out where they're going to bat who. Sometimes because these youngsters on the team, even in their youth teams, have batted all over the order.
Ron Fadke can bat. He's been in that U.S. youth setup. And Koshari will be very disappointed that he batted for 24 deliveries. Even though he's only able to get 16, he was there. Had built a partnership with Jacob Piñar. But in the end, has to go for a partnership, breaking a partnership worth 24 runs. Young Aditya Sharma, though, he has been impressive. It's a pity that he hasn't been given more opportunities in this tournament. The youngster, what have you made of his bowling so far? When you look at his figures in the tournament, Nate. It's actually the first time in the, the fifth time in the tournament he's bowling. Only picked up the 3 wickets so far. Here's the wicket again.
Man, looking to take one to you there, Kyrie.
Just the right length there.
Asking the question, but not out, says the umpire.
We've seen a lot of these premeditated ramp style shots this weekend that have all failed, it seems.
Go ahead, Nadi. Keep going, Nadi. Keep going, Nadi.
Hit way outside the line. Not sure what they were appealing for. Aditya Sharma and Hanchard Hamilton, the only 2 to go up for that.
Whoa!
Oh, that one keeping a bit low. Could be a sign of this surface beginning to just act up a bit. End of 11, a wicket coming in the over for the Lightning. 5 from it, 65 for 3.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
It's going to be Jacob Piñar still there in the middle. Remember, what's at stake for the Morrisville Raptors? If they win this game, they win the Southern Division. It's as simple as that. If they lose, however, you think it would be the Atlanta Fire who win the Southern Division. Full toss, misses out on that. Nate, I was asking you a couple of overs ago before we had that wicket. Your service for the MLC going around trying to spread the growth of the overall game, how have you enjoyed that?
Oh, it's definitely a passion of mine. I love trying to bring people into the sport because, you know, I came into the sport late and I got really excited about it. There's a lot of intensity in cricket that you don't find. That you don't find maybe in other sports in the same exact way. What a great shot there. Single there. But yeah, you know, there's some aspects of cricket that make it different than every sport has its unique qualities. You know, one of the things I loved about cricket was the bowler runs up, there's this suspenseful moment. Fast bowlers end up really close to you when they finish their run up, really close to the batter, so if you swing and miss, you can get it. But there you go, there's some new, potentially new people. I don't want to assume anything, but maybe they're trying to understand how the game goes.
Nate, I'm going to ask you the golden question. I have got to ask you it. You've been exposed to cricket now for maybe about 2 or 3 years at the minor league level. You say 7 overall. The world wants to know, Nate Hayes, baseball or cricket?
That you're trying to trap me right there. I think both sports are fantastic. I don't want to chase any potential fans away. I really couldn't choose if you made me.
Lofted from Patke. It's a full toss. Man in the deep, and he picks him out. Kyle Phillips throws back the ball. Asking a question about no ball, but I don't see any signal from the umpire, so I think it's going to mean that Ron Fatke has got to go. It was a full delivery. Height was the question. Was it over the waist? Ooh, that's tight. Very tight. I think may have just dipped in time.
Too close to call, just like it's too close for me to decide which sport I like best between baseball and cricket. But yeah, I think they're both great in their own way.
Fatke going for none. The score 66 now for 4. Aryan Shah, the youngster, walking to the middle now. Finally, Shah in at number 6. So still forward. Boliseti, Pete, yet to come. Nate Hayes, you've got to choose one. Baseball or cricket?
There's a long list of sports that I love. You know, there's room for more than one. You know,
Nate,
your heart can just keep growing.
Oh, Nate. What sport are you working in, Nate? All these weekends of hard work you put in for the MLC, you give us your fantastic insight, your analysis, and you're still not able to pick the sport of cricket?
Well, my favorite league of any sport is minor league cricket. There you go. My favorite sports league, minor league cricket.
Not happy with that, Nate. I'm not happy with that. So Jacob Espinar, a lot of responsibility on him. And let's see if he's woken up by Nate Hayes. Pinar won't be happy with you, Nate. As a Morrisville player, you're from Morrisville yourself. If he hears that through his headphone, his secret headphone, he'll want to hit some big sixes to wake you up. This was a full toss, and they asked the question about height. Kyle Phillip took a good catch on the boundary. Now that tells me a lot there. Kyle Phillip took the catch. He took the catch and threw it immediately in case there was a no ball. Well, bat. Antrad Hamilton, he tricks me every time. I think maybe he got a feather on it. He celebrates, but no bat on that one. So a decent over from Heath Richards. 2 runs and a wicket. A good delivery from Heath Richards. He's looking to get a move on over Spinar. Antrad Hamilton with his games. Down the leg side, we'll have to rebowl that one. I look at the wicket again, Nate Hayes. It's very interesting because the height was the question. Now, where does that make contact? You put the umpire's hat on.
I'm calling that a no ball.
Really? Wow, that's interesting.
There you go. I made a controversial decision. Early on, I actually picked the Lightning to win this game, so I'm not doing too bad.
Off the bottom of the bat, and a dot to end the over. All happening here at Church Street Park. End of 12, 68 for 4.
Let's take a look at the Morrisville Raptors batting. Lahiru Malantha got them off to a fiery start, 29 from 15. That was tempered a bit by Abdullah Shah's slow start. Chinmay out 16 for 24. Obas Pinar right now starting to get his eye in. Let's see what he's going to do.
Plenty of options used with the ball in hand. 3 of them being spin options. Carey Pears bowled 2 overs. Aditya Sharma, who will bowl his final over, complete his spell. And tons of bowling options, tons of young talent in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Presented by Sunoco.
Good look at Aryan Shah there. Good young player. He can do a little bit of everything.
Arm ball, was it pad first? Got one to come back and just go straight on. No spin there. Almost caught Aryan Shah by surprise.
Go on. Go on, 90. Yeah, outside though.
It was pad first, but you can hear Antrad Hamilton outside the line. Have off stump, so Aryan Shah able to get away. Been encouraged by this young man, though, what he's been able to do with a couple of those arm deliveries. He's conceded less than 5 runs and over in terms of the economy rate. It's a pity that he's only taken the 3 wickets and only been given limited opportunities. 8 overs coming into this game before this, well, in this tournament.
No, Jesse!
Much slower that time. Good variance of pace.
Good job by Aryan Shah to fight that off and get off strike. Let Pinar take on the younger bowler.
Keep working at it.
Has he got that well enough? Man in the deep, but he can only watch it sail over his head. Jacob Espinal against the young left arm spinner. He'll back himself to take that on.
Here we go. Is this the start of Jacob Espinal's big innings? Yeah, there's not a great big crowd here at Morrisville Church Street Park. This is still the middle of the afternoon. There are a lot of league games going on today, and many of the league grounds are a good hike away from here. This is why we get so many more people at the ground under the lights later at night when all the other league games are finished.
Well, the Raptors will want to win this game and get home court advantage for next weekend. And the playoffs, of course, begin in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. He goes again. This time that's even sweeter, better off the middle of the bat, and it's back-to-back maximums. And this could be the big over that they needed to kickstart the innings for the Morrisville Raptors.
Once again, going back to Aryan Shah getting off strike. This could had all the potential to be a big over with the younger bowler against a very experienced Oibis Benar. Look at that. He laid into that. If he can reach it, he can kill it.
He's just so good, Jacob Espinal. Especially they've been able to find something when Lahir Mananta hasn't been able to get runs. Pinar stepped up just to ensure that this batting lineup has done well consistently throughout the tournament. Wants back to strike Jacob Espinal, but it'll only be a single to end the over. He will retain the strike. 82 for 4 after 13 overs.
I don't feel like you did anything wrong. You just really played some good stuff. Oh, you think if anything, maybe just a touch too. Just a touch too. But he's looking for those kind of stuff anyway.
And take a look at the over-by-over chart. A big peak in the 3rd over and a big peak in the 13th over. Field goal posts in between, pretty much. A nice little lull there. See if the Raptors can put together a couple more overs like that. And in comes Hines.
So Jacob Espinal will want to take this innings on. We want to ensure that he can help this team close out the innings.
Good look at that beautiful Morrisville Raptors logo.
Well, of course, the Morrisville Raptors logo, as you just mentioned, Nate, done by an excellent designer, graphic designer, by the name of Nathan Hayes. You've heard of him, Nate?
Yep. That's my entire name. Well, that's 2 of the 3, but yeah, that's my my logo. I did that for the local team. It's something I've always liked to do. I actually have a degree in art, so it's one of the only things I do all right.
How could you say that, Nate? When it comes to your commentary as well, your analysis, you definitely do that all right as well. Not so sure about the baseball pick in front of cricket, though. I think a lot of our fans at home watching this action, they won't be happy. They won't forgive you for that, Nate Hayes.
Oh, you're not one to give misinformation. I didn't pick baseball above cricket. I picked them both evenly.
Nate Hayes, you put your life, your heart, your soul into this game of cricket, and still you don't pick.
Well, I put a good first half of my life into baseball. Didn't go so well, but
have you ever tried playing cricket, Nate Hayes?
yeah, I play a little bit. There's a reason why I've got fielding all-rounder in my profile on Instagram and Twitter.
And I'm here looking at your profile now on Instagram, Nate Hayes. I still see that fielding all-rounder. Check him out, Crick Fan USA, posting some good content of the leagues.
Decent content. There's definitely gonna be some good content featuring Nick Odumchandani now.
Really?
On my Instagram.
That might go viral, Nate. Be careful.
Some very good reels featuring Nick coming up. Stay tuned.
Terrence Hines back into the attack. He's bought a good spell so far.
Nick, you're one of the busiest guys in cricket that I know. I'm always hearing your voice. I'll turn on the TV and there's Nick telling us about a game, describing the action to us beautifully. We talk about how Terrence Hines doesn't have a big run-up, but he does like to take his time.
Yeah, hits the deck hard. Terrence Hines just jogs in, ambles in, but when he does release, can hit the deck very hard on that hard length. Just mentioned him, compared him to Roshan Primus. Heath Richards, another bowler, likes to hit that hard length and hit the deck.
Speaking of Roshan Primus, he put on quite a show last year in the minor league cricket finals right here at Church Street Park. I remember a short ball he bowled to an extremely good batsman, plunking him in the helmet.
Yeah, they'll have one that the Silicon Valley Strikers will be without, as well as Terrence Hines. You know, Lightning, well, if they were going to move on, they wouldn't have Hines, Pierre, or Jesse Boutan because of the Caribbean Premier League, which starts in a couple weeks' time. Started by the 60th, of course. But luckily and happily, the CPL starting after the minor league. So you get to watch the finals. Of course, finals weekend beginning on the 27th and 28th of August. The CPL beginning on the 31st. End of 14 overs, 85 for 4.
Open. All right, on the ball, open. Get some balls on that one, no?
Yeah. And there's the over by over chart. Dipping back down after that peak in the 13th over. 14 runs scored in that over. And Nick, I've had a great time on comms with you this weekend. We've seen some phenomenal cricket in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket League.
Bowling change, left arm round.
So Gary Pierre, the captain, the skipper. Still 2 overs remaining in his spell. We'll look to finish them. Has been interesting the way Pierre's bowled in this season because he usually tends to finish his spell early today. Opting to bowl 2 inside of the last 6 overs.
So Nick, when we do see Major League Cricket pop up on the scene here, I look forward to seeing players like Gary Pierre continue in that league as well. Obis Pinar as well.
Yeah, that league coming to you 2023 summer. So next year, this time, Nate, you could very well be at a Major League game with a packed crowd, maybe 20,000 in. Who knows? We've already seen so much growth at this tournament, fueled by Sunoco, of course, this season, our presenting sponsor.
Get him!
Hurrying shots. Struggled so far, just another single, yet to find the boundary.
Come on, lift your legs, man.
Ensuring that they take the game deep and build a platform for their hitters to come. Still Bolisetti, still Ford, and still Dane Pete. Can all up the ante at any stage.
Yes, we've seen Bolisetti here go off, absolutely.
Pina are looking to go across the line and like it. It's good mind games being played by Gary Pierre, slowing it up, asking him to hit.
Yeah.
Edges that right between his legs.
Wait. Why you keep drifting this way? You send him this way, Gary. No. Yeah, go that way.
Like Rashid Khan, but accidentally.
None.
Yeah, names like Rashid Khan, I mean, could easily be in the Major League next year. We're seeing the advent of T20 cricket, the UAE League, the South African League coming up, but the Major League is coming as well. 2023, could easily see names like a Rashid Khan, like a Joss Butler here in the United States in a year's time. Hit well down the ground. They won't get to the boundary. Heath Richards unable to prevent the two. So ends with a double, but just 5 runs from the over, 90 for 4.
1, 2, 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Will be Terrence Hines, who's just bowled tours for 5 runs. Great way to end his campaign. He's got to close out well for his Lightning team, but they'll be very happy just to concede the 6 runs and over for the first 15. Lightning have got to finish the final 5, where they themselves, the Lightning against this team, scored 89 runs yesterday batting first. Can the Morrisville Raptors have a similar type of finish? Again goes Yorker, and again another dot delivery straight to extra cover. Excellent bowling. Aman Patel rejoining me.
Yes, Nikhil, the Morrisville Raptors, they definitely have the firepower to do so with Obis PNR out there in the middle. And you're talking about Aryan Shah, who struggled today. But in the local leagues, you see this terrific Yorker bowled by Terrence Hines. Local leagues to start earlier this year had 5 consecutive hundreds. So someone can score and push up the ante, but you still have Matthew Ford, Dane Pete, Abhiram Bolasetti to come.
Astonishing from Jacob Espinar, over long off. This is the power that this man possesses. He has the ability to just change gears. Maybe doing that now inside the last 5 overs. What a stroke.
And this is why you think they can put on those 89 runs, because Obis PNR, Dane Pete's preseason pick for MVP of the league, he's still out there in the middle and can play shots like this one. Again, just got on the front foot and right back over the top. Maybe one of the biggest we've seen. Flat 6 for Obis PNR.
Able to get through for 1 this time. He's been such a consistent performer for the Morrisville Raptors. Jacob Espinar, 35 already. We'll be looking at that half century. He has already got the 100 in the tournament, and interestingly, he only has that 100, no 50s to his name. Has been there with the starts, but he's crossed the 25-run mark 6 times, but yet to push on to get to that half century. 38 ball 100 was really the main standout for Aryan Shah. He's got to look to take some of the pressure off of PNR and look to find the boundary. He's been there now for 9 deliveries. But a dot delivery, well bowled by Hines at the body.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Aryan Shah this entire tournament. And you can just see him just taking a while to get acclimated. He's a proper cricketer, likes to just play up top the order and doesn't really find the boundary in bunches. Is more of a guy who's just going to push it along the ground and facilitate. But that's what he's got to do for Obis PNR, find a way to facilitate at this later stage of the innings.
Does get that one well. Work to be done. It's just hit so well by Aryan Shah. Timed extremely well to split that gap. And a much needed boundary for him.
The delivery before was on his pads, close to the body. This time, got some width, got some room. And he was able to throw his hands through the line of the ball and get it into that gap. Again, some width on offer. Got back. And just enough bat on it to squeeze it between the 2 men in the deep. Gets 4 runs, a much needed boundary for the Raptors and for the confidence of young Aryan Shah.
11 runs from the over. Hines most expensive in the 3 that he's bowled so far. Goes with again. But this time, deep cover. Just keeps it to 1. So 12 runs from the over. A good one for the Raptors as they cross 100. 1 or 2 for 4.
Take a look at this Manhattan. You can see the effect Lahito Malanta had early on in the innings, but a lot of quiet overs when he got out in that 5th over. And then from there on out, we just see some smaller towers, but that 13th to 16th over being 2 of the biggest of the day. So the Raptors would hope to continue this and keep it moving. Again, Obis Pienaar, 35 from 25. Aryan Shah getting amongst the runs now, boundary to his name. And if you're the Atlanta Lightning, you keep the Morrisville Raptors under 160. You'll feel good. Again, it's a family affair here at Church Street Park. Getting all the sights. It's a wonderful venue to be at. And again, just getting the memories for his family later in the year that they can look back and say, we were at Church Street Park for this last weekend of the regular season of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco.
Kyle Phillip will come back into the attack. 4 overs remain. He's still got 2. He's been on the expensive side today. Conceded 22 runs total in his 4 yesterday. In a much more high-pressure situation. But he did go the distance in that 2nd over he bowled. Went for 16 runs. Kyle Phillip. Good shot by Shah, but straight to the man. He's got to do better, I think, Aryan Shah. Just looking to rotate the strike a bit more. Finding Jacobus Pienaar and getting him back on strike.
Yeah, that's got to be the mantra in his head. And you can see there, he was just trying to work it into covers, but all he could do was find short cover. Again, just got to be ready to get those quick singles.
Full toss. Finally does get that single. They do have a lot of power left. I know Aryan Shah will want to make use of this opportunity before the playoff stages, but Bolisetti, Ford, and Dane Pete still there. So they want to ensure they can take some risk. I think for Pienaar, he's got a bat to the end, being a set man on what's been a tough track to get in on. But allow Bolisetti and Ford and others to come at the other end and go berserk, as they like to say.
We know all 3 have the power and the ability to do it. And again, it's Obis Pienaar, though. He's the man. If he can just latch onto a couple here from Kyle Phillip, he'll put the other bowlers under pressure. And we already saw one great stroke back down the ground. And again, Obis Pienaar, he's such an incredible bat. The fastest 100 in all of minor league cricket history.
A couple of historians on this team. Pienaar with the fastest 100. 2 is the call. They're coming back. And it's good awareness because they just looked like they were fell asleep in the field, the Atlanta Lightning, but Pienaar wanting to face the majority of the strike. It's got awareness by him to come back for 2.
Yeah, you see the throw coming in here. Aryan Shah's quick, but he would have been gone by quite some distance. Caulfield unable to handle it, and again, Obis Pienaar, he said in his mind he's going to come back and face the majority of these deliveries.
Now this is a chance. And it falls into no man's land. Very fortunate for Obis Pienaar. I mentioned the fact that they've got a couple of historians on this team. Jacobus Pienaar, the fastest 100. Matthew Ford, the first ever man to take a hat-trick in minor league history.
Yeah, some really good players here. New additions to the team. Again, Obis last year was a captain of the St. Louis Americans. You saw Matthew Ford, part of the Michigan Cricket Stars setup. And for Matthew Ford to not be on a roster until a couple of weeks ago, is really unfathomable.
So far, so good for Kyle Phillip. Just 4 runs conceded. Very relaxed looking Morrisville Raptors dugout. Matthew Ford, no pads on. Dane Pete, no pads on either. And also Abiram Bolisetti. So who's coming in next? Interesting. the captain who we had earlier today. Wide delivery. He's very relaxed, seems very relaxed, wants to give his youngsters an opportunity. He's done that.
Yeah, that's why you sent out Rohan Fadke, Aryan Shah, Mohammad Abdullah Shah, Chinmay Kushare. Just give all of them a little bit of experience, a flavor. This one, try to go for that Yorker just well wide there from Kyle Phillip. But again, Dane P very relaxed and has a clear strategy coming into the day. Get some more wides for Kyle Phillip, and it looks like he's trying to get onto the body of Obis PNR just because we saw when he was on the body and was short, he nearly created that wicket taking opportunity that fell in no man's land. Just trying to keep it on his legs. But he's just straying down the leg side at the moment, Kyle Phillip. He started really hot today. He's got to find the line he wants to go and bowl.
Pinar latches onto that. And there is a man at deep backward square, but he can only fetch. A great way to end the over as the Morrisville Raptors up in the ante in the last two. 115 for 4. Well, 44 from 28, the story for the Morrisville Raptors. 44 from 28 deliveries. It's been an innings full of power.
Bowlers coming left time around. Yeah. Chew, but you can't back yourself, man. Yo.
If you take a look at the bowling card here, again, Kyle Phillip just getting a touch expensive in his last over. But Siddharth Mathani's taking the wicket in his 2 overs. Kerry Pierre with 1. The youngster Aditya Sharma, good to see him in action, get a wicket. Heath Richards also, after giving up 60 runs yesterday with no wickets, takes a wicket from 2 runs for just 9 runs. And again, you can see fans here at Church Street Park just enjoying the action, enjoying this day of cricket. Maybe some explaining going on out there in the crowd as well.
Kerry Pierre, the captain, bowling his final over. Has hit it. Aryan Shah doing the right thing, getting Pinar on strike. He wants to, coming back as well. He's got long strides, Jacob, as Pinar. And it's a big square boundary. I mean, like this from Kerry Pierre, though. I think it's long overdue that he bowls overs in the last 5. 2 in the power play, 1 the 4th over, the 6th over, and then bowled the 15th and now the 18th over. As a strike bowler, when the team is going after your bowlers, you got to go. That, though, has gone a long way. Aryan Shah, welcome, young man. That's a hit of a big man.
He's just waiting for it, Aryan Shah. He's been struggling today. This time, got on to one from Kerry Pierre, who just went a touch too full. Gave a little bit of width to Aryan Shah, and he took advantage. Take a look at this. Little bit of width on offer. That length he picks up early, and as high and as far as you like it. 6 runs for the Raptors and 6 runs for young Aryan Shah.
He's hit it so hard, his laces have come undone. He really thumped that. This will be an encouraging return for him if he can kick on and bat to the end of the innings. Would really pose him in the reckoning for a place in next weekend's team when they do go into the playoffs.
His day might not be over. Also has the ability to keep, can bowl as well, some off spin, so we might get to see that in action. But right now with the bat, he's starting to find some rhythm and some flow.
Goes outside that off stop. Much slower this time, but the key thing is the length. The difference in length, very hard to get under that. I think to Aryan Shah, something that the Fort Lauderdale Lions did well against Rishi Pandey. These younger players who are not as strong, I mean, Aryan Shah, that was a shot of a big man into that 6, but I think you want to force them to hit square. This one is cut well. Just be a single, though. You want to force Aryan Shah to try to take on the square boundary. It's very hard to hit a 6 over cover.
As you mentioned, it also takes a lot of timing, and with Kerry Pierre, his ability to bounce and create a little bit extra bounce, maybe a little extra turn. For the young individuals, just might be a little bit tougher to get around and through that shot with enough power, enough timing to get it over. He's got Obis PNR on strike. It's a different battle. Again, Obis is someone who can just patch it to all parts of the ground.
Straight back down the ground is powered from Obis Pinar. A big over for the Morrisville Raptors. 6 from Shah, and now a boundary from Obis Pinar. 2 away from a 50 now.
Again, a little bit fuller in length here from Kerry Pierre. And also just gave him enough room, enough width to hit it straight back down the ground. And Obis Pinar, he's too good to miss out. He's looked so good, and now 2 away.
Faster, wider. 2 is the call, but it's only going to be 1. So Pinar will retain the strike. End of 18 overs, 129 for 4.
If you just take a look here for the Morrisville Raptors, these last couple of overs since that 13th, the biggest over, and then the 16th, 17th, 18th, all overs that are above 12 runs and over, exactly what they were looking for, exactly what they wanted as they make their charge up to what they would be looking for. 150, 160, they can get there, they'd feel comfortable and fancy their chances to defend a total and keep the Lightning from chasing one down.
I like the approach from Kerry Pierre in this innings. I think something that he could probably have done yesterday, where his team was defending a total, letting Kyle Phillip bowl this penultimate over, himself bowl 2 inside the last 5. You're better, more experienced bowlers bowling important overs. Maybe you had a views of Aditya Sharma as well, who we saw today was decent in his first 2 at least, but Jew was a factor last night. That has been slapped into the offside. 1 bounce into the boundary for 4. Jacob Pinar brings up his 50 in style. Another return, his first 50 of the tournament, and that's because he got on 100. But this man has been so reliable for the Morrisville Raptors.
And it's why Dane Pete has kept him in the 11. You take a look at this, latched on to the width, got it over. Once he latched onto it, you felt those boundary all the way through. But Obis Pinar, he's a key figure for this Morrisville Raptors side. 53 from 31, Obis Pinar, and again, they're going to need him in the playoffs as well.
Now it's in the air, and the man in the deep takes the catch. So after getting his 50, Jacob Pinar, he's got to depart. Mark Parchment taking a really good catch on that deep mid-wicket boundary. But a good innings from Pinar comes to an end.
Yeah, looked in good flow, played some good shots. This time, just picked out. Parchment out in the deep, and you hear Kyle Phillip immediately, let's say, catch it now. And again, ran a good ways over to his left. It was a low full toss that he digs out. Thought he got enough and into the gap, but Parchment, safe hands and safe feet, didn't cross the line. And Obis Pinar, 15 out for him.
He's going for 53. The Raptors now 133 for 5. Murali Krishna and Antaraju before all the hitters. No Bolisetti, no Ford, no Dane Pete. And clearly you can see it's an intent to give some of the other players an opportunity to prove themselves with the bat in hand.
Well, Murali Krishna Ankaraju in this tournament hasn't got many opportunities with the bat, but locally here in North Carolina, known for his big hitting prowess, usually comes in towards the last 5 overs and just swings the willow around.
Getting some extra bounce. Look at that delivery from Kyle Phillip. He is a tall man, about 6'3", Kyle Phillip. So is able to get some of that extra bounce off a good length.
And with that dismissal of Obis Pinar that you're seeing on your screen again, excuse me, just the previous delivery, but that wicket of Obis Pinar, now you have 2 bats in the middle. Haven't played a lot in this minor league season. And this is the reason Murali Krishna Ankaraju is in the middle.
Shah has hit that well. Just be a single though. It will bring the new man on strike.
And Murali Krishnan Ankaraju hasn't gotten many opportunities with the bat here. This season hasn't played many matches. He's played one here at Church Street Park, but everybody here in North Carolina would know, whether you live in Charlotte and play in that league, you play in TCL, you know what he can do with the bat in hand. Trying to show what he can do against maybe the quickest bowler in all minor league.
Well, it's going to be runs. Very first delivery. What a way to get off the mark. Not pretty, but effective. Outside edge. You could almost say you just opened the face and steered it down, but he had to be fine because of that deep third fielder, and he got it well.
You can see here from Kyle Phillip, goes wide, and again, just enough bat on it, and opened the face, directed it towards third man, and quick off the bat of Murali Krishnan Ankaraju, used Kyle Phillip's pace and guides it for 4 runs.
This time, angling down the leg side, you think, but it will get a leg by. Tells you what the pace of Phillip. It hits the pad and is still able to get through for a single. But it will end the over, but a big one. 9 from it, 10 from it, correction, and a wicket as well for the Lightning. 139 for 4, for 5, correction.
Take a look at the batting card again. Lahina Malanta, his name stands out, and Obis PNR with that 53 from 32. Seen a lot of young players in there, players who haven't seen a lot of time. Mohamed Abdullah Shah never looked comfortable. Chinmay Kushade, 16 from 24, had a lovely shot over cover. Rohan Fudkett gone without scoring. Thought maybe it was a no ball, and Aryan Shah, Murali Krishnan Ankaraju. Those are the 2 men in the middle for the Morrisville Raptors. And they'll be facing Terrence Hines here in the final over. And was really sharp yesterday outside of the no balls. Hasn't committed that felony yet.
Starts well with a dot delivery, and it'll be key for the Atlanta Lightning. Power score here batting first has been 165. I think they'll get the best portion of this surface as well, the Lightning, as the sun is baked on it all day. Started with some early morning moisture, so it should be good for batting when they come. It has definitely gotten quicker. So they want to finish this innings off. If they can concede less than 10 and keep them under 150, I think they'll be very happy. Bat on that. No, not given by the umpire. So Ankaraju, you mentioned he has a big reputation from local cricket here in North Carolina. He's got to show that on these last 4 deliveries.
You take a look at this one here. I think it just caught the hip of Ankaraju on the way through, and that was the noise you were hearing on the stump mic. And Murali Krishnan Ankaraju, he's going to need to get bat on ball, at least get a single, push the balls around, and can he get a boundary here with 4 deliveries remaining?
Should just be a single, so far so good for the Lightning. Just 1 run conceded from the first 2 deliveries, a dream start.
Work team, work team, work team.
Look at the field that he has. Terrence Hines in this final phase. He's got that deep cover out, deep third as expected in the offside. Mid-off up in the circle is a ploy that Kerry Pira likes to go to in the back end of the innings because of the length that Terrence Hines bowls. Off the outside edge. And 4. Just too quick for Aditya Sharma. Welcome runs for Aryan Shah and the Morrisville Raptors.
A touch unlucky like it was yesterday in the final over for the Lightning. Saw a couple of boundaries in similar fashion, in a similar region of the ground. But if you slash hard. That's what Aryan Shah did. And the pace of Terrence Hines takes it all the way. Takes it for 4 runs. The Raptors, they'll use every single bit of runs they can get. And they're trying to make their way up to 150. With 2 deliveries left. It is in the cards. Can they move past that 150 mark and give their bowler something to bowl at?
It's not often that you see mid-off up in the circle at this phase of the innings. 2 deliveries remaining. Carey Peer standing at mid-off, the captain, right next to Terrence Hines, up in the circle. So can they force one over him? He does go full. They're going to run this, and they'll get through for the single. Hanshot Hamilton hitting the stumps, but well home. Murali Krishna Nankaraju.
Yeah, just a good awareness from Murali Krishna Nankaraju. Knew that there's 2 deliveries left and just wanted to get as many runs as they can, and he'll be on strike to face the final. But a good delivery here from Terrence Hines. Find the inside edge, just missed the stumps there. Hanshot Hamilton, good pickup and good throw. But Nankaraju well home in the end.
It's very bold to bowl that length, Terrence Hines, at the off-stump full and have mid-off up. So he still has Carey Peer there inside the circle. Don't expect him to go too full. And if he does go full, he's got to go Yorker and get it right. Instead, it's hit into the offside, and it will just be, should just be 1 run. It's going to be a run out, and it is easy for Hanshot Hamilton. So just a single to end for the Morrisville Raptors, who scraped their way up to 146. And you think Dane Pete will be happy with that, given that they've got some inexperienced players in. Easy in the end for Hanshot Hamilton. So it will be 147 needed for the Atlanta Lightning. A performance that even now, though they're out the tournament, they'll feel happy about.
Yeah, you want to put your best foot forward if you're the Atlanta Lightning. End the season on a high note and carry some momentum into next year. Give that team morale a bit of a boost. And after yesterday's tight loss, another tight loss to the Raptors, they're looking to go and put something on the board. But Dane Pete, you can see him on screen. He's going to be happy with what was able to come from a very inexperienced batting lineup. And he's going to trust, you'd have to assume, some of the maybe unexperienced bowlers to go out there and try to defend this total.
Well, in terms of the batting performance from the Raptors, it was all about Obas Piñar, 53 from 32. Good start from Atlanta again, but then also a good finish from the youngster Aryan Shah, getting 27, an unbeaten 27. The last delivery, Murali Krishna Nankaraju run out on 5. So that will be adjusted.
And then with the ball, and Kyle Phillip, he started off well. He ends up taking the wicket. Was touch expensive with 43 runs. Siddharth Mathani, 2 overs, 7 runs and a wicket. Bounced back well. Heath Richards bounces back well. 2 overs, 9 runs and a wicket. Carey Pierre, 4 overs, 34 and a wicket to his name. Aditya Sharma, good to see the youngster come in with some overs of his left-arm orthodox. 4 overs, 28 runs, a wicket to his name. And Terrence Hines doesn't pick up a wicket in his overs, but 4 overs. He gave up 23 runs. It's going to feel pretty good about the bowling performance that was just put on display there from the Atlanta Lightning.
The Lightning will need 147 runs. It's well below par here in this beautiful Church Street Park venue. The highlights. Well, it started well. Lahir Malanta with his left hand prowess at the crease. Boys, he's something special to watch inside the power play. He used the pace of Kyle Phillips so well. A couple of lucky strikes for him. Went in the gap. He's such a good seasoned performer from Sri Lanka, of course. Leading the run scoring charts for the Morrisville Raptors. Got gifted a couple of deliveries that he put away happily. 4 boundaries in that Kyle Phillip over that conceded some 16 runs. But then Lahir Malanta will be disappointed because he got a short delivery from the off spinner, looking to take on the spin, and instead picked out extra cover. Mark Parchment took a good low catch for second, but 1 of 2 in this innings. And then Ahmed Abdul Shah went to a big swing. This young man was impressive. Aditya Sharma, even though he was struck for a few boundaries from the left-hander Obas Piñar, still definitely impressed with the change of pace. Heath Richards. Into the attack and got some good deliveries to beat the outside edge. And then Aditya Sharma flighting one, playing across the line, that getting Kushare. And then Rohan Padke, many were asking the question about a no ball. Kyle Phillip took the catch on the deep square leg boundary. Then Jacob Piñar found some big maximums. He hit 4 total 6s in the innings, 2 consecutively from Jacob Espinar. One in the square boundary and the other one back down the ground. Terrence Hines was met with some good timing from the youngster Arian Shah, who got a very impressive 27 unbeaten at the crease. It was the third maximum hit by Pinar. Hit well the short delivery. And Arian Shah showing his power even though he's not the strongest of men. That was hit well down the ground, but then Jacob Espinar, after getting to his 50, had to go. Looking to take on the bowling. Just picked out that lone field at deep mid-wicket. Mark Parchment took his second catch. And Murali Krishna and Ankaraju just hit the one boundary to get off the mark. Other than that, it was a struggle. Arian Shah finishing off the innings with a boundary. Bit of fortune again for him, which was very fine past third. And that is all she wrote for the Morrisville Raptors. So in the end, the Lightning will need 147 runs to win. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back very shortly with the action.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco. You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Welcome back. Thank you for just staying with us here at Church Street Park, where the Morrisville Raptors able to post 146 for the loss of 6 wickets.
And you look at the batting card here for the Morrisville Raptors. Again, it's Obis Pienaar. It's about him, 53 from 32. Lahidu Malanta, 29 for 15. But a lot of inexperience, again, all around that batting scorecard. Aryan Shatnam being 27. It was good to see with the ball in hand. Aditya Sharma, the youngster, it was good to see him get some overs in, 4 overs, 28 in the wicket. Heath Richards responds nicely after yesterday. 60 runs he gave up without taking the wicket today. 2 overs, 9 runs in the wicket. Kerr Pierre bowled 4 and took a wicket as well. Kyle Phillip got his 4. Took a wicket. Was a touch expensive as well. But we're all set and ready to get things going, Nikhil. So, Nikhil, usually ponder this question to me, but I'm going to ponder it back at you. Going in, 147 needed. You got the Lightning, you got the Raptors.
I think the Lightning will fancy their chances of winning this game. 147 to win is well below par, and I think also the best time to bat on this surface. Slightly overcast outside, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any lateral movement on display. But Mark Parchment and Sagar Patel, as they so often have, the 2 openers for the Atlanta Lightning. And Mark Parchment, after a couple of lean period with a couple of low scores, he'll be looking to get back into the runs.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what the Raptors do with the ball. We saw with the bat, they let a lot of their youngsters or inexperienced players express themselves and get opportunities. Would they look to a guy like Abhiram Bolasetti, who's only bowled 2 overs in the last 2 weeks, or excuse me, 1 over in the last 2 weeks, hasn't bowled a couple of overs in some time? Would they let him go and open the bowling or bowl his 4 in situations? Matthew Ford, do they continue to give him experience? Does Aryan Shah get a look with ball in hand? Rohan Phadke? Getting a lot of questions to be asked about who's going to bowl for the Morrisville Raptors as they head into the playoffs next week.
Dane Pete with the new ball in hand. Have seen this a couple of times in the tournament. I've seen Pete with that brand new ball inside the pulpit. Mark Parchment, as I mentioned, since that 85 2 weeks ago against the Atlanta Fire, he has been short of runs. So you want to get back into the runs.
And you won't have it easy going as Dane Pete starts with the ball in hand. And again, for Dane Pete, I like the idea of letting him get some overs in the opening in the power play and just keep him fresh, keep him ready for those types of situations that would come up in the power play in the playoffs when required.
Full bat down the ground, long on in place, does extremely well, but he just made contact, and that's not good. May have hurt himself in the process. Hope he's okay. Vivek Narayan, it is into his first game. Did well to stop it in the end, but he just wanted that shoulder on landing. May have just extended it, landed on it, and never easy.
Yeah, you can see the tail end of that one. I'm just landing on that shoulder and rolling over it. He's in some kind of pain, grimacing down there. And we're going. And again, I think you could just hear Dane Pete say maybe a dislocation on that shoulder. We're gonna hope he is all right. He's a good leg spinner in his own right. Played early in the year. And again, you can see just the concern on the Raptors' faces. They don't want to see this injuries as you head into the playoffs.
We have just dislocated that shoulder. Never easy when you fall on it. It'll be painful, that first delivery. So he's still down. So trying to get some treatment to that shoulder. That's why we have a break in play.
This across my body. But in my follow through, nah, and in the physio came, I put it back in. Push it down. Nah, just like this. Slow down. And that's not nice though, because that didn't go back in.
Well, the highlights from the first innings, and whilst we have this break and play, it gives us a chance to show you some of the highlights and the action. Here Malanta has been so consistent at the top of the order for this team. Another start for him, 29 today.
He was so good early on in the day, and again, just use the pace of Kyle Phillip nicely to get some runs flowing for the Raptors early, and it's good for the Raptors for him to be in good touch. Again, the Raptors just playoff practice at this point. That's probably the best shot he played. Made some room, played it over covers, never easy to do. Hit square of the wicket. But this one again, he's gonna feel as if he missed out. Usually so good at picking that gap. All he could do was pick the fielder. And Mohamed Abdullah Shah never looked comfortable. And Nitya Sharma was taking wickets there. But Obis PNR, he was getting things going as well, and runs just kept flowing for the Raptors at this stage of the match. Again, some good bowling from Heath Richards as he comes back. Yesterday hit for 60 runs. Today, in his 2 overs, just 9 runs he gave up. Took a wicket as well. And this time, Chinmay Kushade, he had to go from Aditya. And this one, again, was it a no ball? Was it not a no ball? The umpire said it wasn't. So it's a wicket for Heath Richards, and Phillip with the catch in the deep to dismiss Rohan Phadke. Always PNR, though, so good for the Raptors all season long. Just kept the runs going and hit some of the biggest boundaries and the best boundaries we've seen. Look at this one, straight back down the ground. Didn't matter who was bowling. Aryan Shah showed the timing. A great timer of the cricket ball, Aryan Shah, and Obis PNR was able to get a couple more as well. Whether they were full, whether they were short, he was punishing them. And Aryan Shah, this one against Kerry Pierre, would have filled him up with a lot of confidence. That 6 that crashed into the side screen. And Obis PNR got in the action as well against Kerry Pierre. And then this one, the low full toss that Obis PNR just couldn't get. All he could do was pick out Parchment in the deep. And he went, and then Murli Krishnankaraju was able to run this one to 4, but the boundaries didn't really come their way after that. This one had a fortune for Aryan Shah, and that's how that 146 came on the board for the Morrisville Raptors.
Still getting treatment to that shoulder, Vivek Narayan, but it is 50 from PNR and 27 unbeaten, the 2 that helped them get up to that 146 mark. Back after a short break.
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Dad? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Well, back here, that's the situation. An injury, unfortunately, to Vivek Narayan in his very first game on the very first delivery of the innings. And he's just unable to move at the moment. Good to see a small conference in the middle between the 2 Lightning batters and the Morrisville Raptors, though. Aman Patel, well, as we have this break and play, it gives me a great chance to ask you. I asked Nate Hayes, who's from Morrisville, baseball or cricket? Answer that question for me.
Well, I don't think there's as much on the line for me. Played 1 season of baseball, I had 2 hits. So baseball never loved me back. It wasn't inside the park home run and a triple. But baseball never loved me back. Cricket I found a little bit more success with. But if you're a fan of cricket, fan of baseball, come out and watch minor league cricket. I'm sure you'll have a blast.
On a serious note, though, Aman Patel, you look at the teams moving on from the Atlantic Conference. You've got these two in the conference, well, the Atlanta Fire and the Morrisville Raptors. And then, of course, in the other group, the New Jersey Stallions and the Yorkers. Who, for you, is the team to beat out of those 4? Who leaves the group stages as the strongest?
Well, I don't think you can look past the New Jersey Stallions. Of course, the winners of the Atlantic Conference last year, and they still have a lot of that strength. Talk about the bowling of Jasdeep Singh, Sachamuva Lapu. And you also talk about the batting prowess. Raymond Aran has come good with the bat. Talk about Saiteja Mukamala, Dominic Ricky, so many pieces that they have there, and they've picked up some pieces down the order now as well. You're just thinking that they would be another tough side to beat, but the way the Fire have been playing, again, Rakeem Cornwall goes, but Stephen Taylor, Aaron Jones come back with in form, both of whom scoring centuries. Stephen Taylor in a practice match. Aaron Jones, of course, just 2 days ago, scoring 100, and again, we've seen that team be really good with both bat and ball. And the Raptors, of course, in close games, they just don't seem to be phased. So really, to me, I think it's wide open, but I think the Stallions might have that slight edge just coming from that reputation from last year.
Yeah, it will be interesting, of course. Next weekend, the playoffs in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship roll around. And even on the other side of things, the Pacific Conference, things going down to the wire today. We're not sure which 4 teams will move on. But it really has been an enjoyable 8 weekends of action. Still waiting as the young man gets some treatment, Vivek Narayan. So whilst the young man is injured, and until we have resumption in play, take a look at some of the highlights from today's earlier match where the Atlanta Fire were victorious over the Fort Lauderdale Lions. What a game that was, where Rakeem Cornwall got 86 from 50 deliveries. We're getting to that very soon for you. So the Fire batted first. Cornwall in his very last game, Aman Patel, for the Atlanta Fire. 86 from 50. You look at the sixes he's hit in this tournament. 52 sixes, the most in this tournament by a long way.
Yeah, it felt like it was about time for him to come due. Again, hadn't really had the performances he was looking for, especially against the Morrisville Raptors. And in his final match before he heads to the CPL, he was able to get boundaries down the ground. Was dropped on 15, mind you. Made him pay. Made the most of that opportunity. And Elton Tucker Jr., he was able to get amongst the wickets. Hasn't really played and had the best season, but what a catch that out in the deep. And it's that man, JaVale Glenn, who's been so good for the Lions all year long. Up from there, could the Lions restrict him? But Rakeem Cornwall said no. He just kept things going, kept things moving in the right direction for the Atlanta Fire. Again, whether it was on his legs in full, whether it was short, he just took advantage of everything the Lions were throwing at him. Spin, pace, didn't matter. Here we go. And very rarely do you see him hit 4s, which might be the craziest thing about Rakeem Cornwall, Nikhil.
Yeah, well, Rakeem Cornwall got to his 5th half century of the innings for the Atlanta Fire. And real pity that he's going to have to go because he's caused serious destruction. Is Rakeem Cornwall in this tournament. 535 runs. Well, that was hit far, far back. But then he had to depart. 14 runs short of a century. He would have been disappointed with that, Rakeem Cornwall. But he had to depart. Jamar Hamilton came and went very quickly. Caught an extra cover. Then had to go. So Rishi Pandey, though, very impressed with this 16-year-old youngster. How much have you seen of him, Aman Patel? 38 not out from 33 deliveries today. An innings that helped his team get over the line.
Yeah, looked good today and looked good earlier this weekend when he opened the batting as well. And Mila Alfonso, Nate Hayes has said, maybe the most underrated bat in minor league cricket. Was able to get some runs on the board as well. like you said, Rishi Pandey, just 16 years of age. Exciting for USA Cricket as they have this prospect for this next under-19 cycle. And he was just able to go down the ground and anywhere. Again, just take a look at this. Whether it was straight back down the ground or around the corner, always able to score. This 16-year-old man. Those are the highlights. You can see the stretcher being brought on for Vivek Narayan.
The artificial stretcher being used. Makeshift, but it gets the job done. Most important thing. Good to see that all hands making the job easy. And well, they're looking at our stream, watching the highlights for the Atlanta Fire. So the players seem that we're getting closer to a resumption after a big lull in play. Let's hope that Vivek Narayan is okay, sustaining that shoulder injury.
And hopefully he's okay. Like we said, that looked like a pretty nasty roll along the carpet for Vivek Narayan. So hopefully he's okay. And again, we've only seen one delivery bowled here in this second innings, and it's Mark Parchment who got it down the ground for 4. As Dane Pete with ball in hand, Mark Parchment batting alongside Jesse Bhutan, who has been promoted up top the order. Again, just trying to get some innings in for a lot of their players. The Lightning, again, not going to be part of the playoffs with that fire win earlier this morning.
Real pity, because this game could have come down to win or go home had the Lightning won last night. But, of course, they came and lost in that final delivery. So we are ready to resume here at Church Street Park. Finally ready for action. Dane Pete with this new ball in hand. First they went for a boundary. So almost like another start to the innings. And of course, Dane Pete doesn't deliver the ball.
All happening at Church Street Park, Nico.
It's quite the opposite, actually, in terms of the cricket. What a delivery that is. Much better length, beating the outside edge. Much better in terms of after being struck for that first boundary of the first delivery. Should just be one. Deep mid wicket in place. And then Pete there, if you saw him opt to not collect that ball from around 5K, it's because he's sustained an injury to that right hand, doesn't want to, you know, risk it anymore. So you want to minimize the contact that the hand makes with the ball. Has prevented him from doing certain things with his bowling. But 2 balls ago, he had an injury, unfortunately, to Vivek Narayan. And the last delivery, you can see there, Dane Pete not electing to collect because of an injury as well. What a shot from Bhutan. What a way to get off the mark as well.
Just straying down the leg side, Dane Pete, and just helped off the pads of Bhutan. He's so strong in that area. And Dane Pete with all the fielders in the deep in front of square. You don't want to be there. You don't want to allow the batters to take it over the top behind square on the leg side.
Dane Pete will want to finish this over well. The captain, of course, of this Morrisville Raptors side. Leading edge, but doesn't carry to that cover fielder. A 17-minute first over comes to an end. 9 for none. Well, unfortunately, the very first delivery, Vivek Narayan sustained an injury to that shoulder. He did well to get around and cut it off, but then just rolling over, landing on that shoulder, trying to keep the ball in play. And we've been officially told it is a dislocation to that left shoulder. We hope he's okay.
And never good to see that. For any cricketer, especially a young one, just trying to make his mark here toward the tail end of the tournament. But it brings about another youngster with the ball in hand, Abhiram Bolasetti. And I asked the question earlier, would they let Abhiram Bolasetti open the bowling? He's known as a bowling all-rounder, but he's shown more with the bat so far this tournament. Was only given 1 over through the previous 2 weeks. Didn't bowl in Atlanta, didn't bowl in Orlando. And just bowled the 1 over against the Atlanta Fire that went for 16. So the Raptors would hope he gets into some rhythm heading into next week here at Church Street Park. As part of that under-19 team that featured a pace trio, Abhiram Bolasetti, Abhiram Valasamagari, and Rohan Posnapalli, all 3 of whom have found a side here in minor league cricket. Rohan Posnapalli playing for the Seattle Thunderbolts, Abhiram Valasamagari for the Manhattan Yorkers, and of course Bolasetti here for the Raptors.
Starts well. And he'll want to improve on that 16-run over he conceded against the Atlanta Fire on Friday night. Young Bolasetti will be looking to be in the wickets and let them move from Dane Pete. He's done it all day with the batting lineup, trying to give some others an opportunity to prove themselves. And with the Raptors being in those playoffs, hit that well, Parchment, but picked up the fielder. Must be another single. Now, what do the Atlanta Lightning need to do well here, Aman Patel? They just need to go at 7.34 runs per over. They've got a long batting lineup. How do they chase this total down?
I think the key for them is to hold wickets in the power play. We've seen from the teams chasing, if you can hold on to your wickets early on, it just creates this ability later in the game to just flip the script and have those wickets in hand to be able to do so. We saw from the Raptors yesterday against the Lightning, the Fire on Friday against the Raptors. Hold wickets in the power play.
On the leg side, we'll have to reball that one. Abhiram Bolasetti.
Struggled with this on Friday. Again, only reason why he bowled that 1 over. That angle back into the right-hander, just too far down that leg side, and again, something he's going to want to fix and control.
Pretty relaxed Atlanta Lightning dugout. Moment. He's hit that really well through cover. Don't run. Jesse Bhutan will get a boundary. It's raced to the boundary. It's a very quick outfield here at Church Street Park.
With on offer, this time a touch fuller from Abhiram, and too good of a bat, Jesse Bhutan, to miss out on that one. Gets you through that cover region for 4 runs. Save your legs, trying to chase that one down. Again, with Abhiram Bolasetti's pace, with Bhutan's timing, there's never a doubt that that was going to go for 4 runs.
This one hit into the onside. Just be 1. So, Abhiram Bolasetti looking to get wickets for his team. Well, on a good length, but just the line was all wrong. Mark Parchment able to get that to the boundary. Needs to get back in the runs. Parchment struggled in the last 3 innings.
Touch unlucky that for Abhiram Bolasetti. He was on a length on the body, but as you mentioned, the line just a touch wrong. And all that had to be done was helped around the corner and gets it away from fine leg. 4 runs and for Parchment, would like to end the season on a high, this is the way to do so.
Full. And a dot to end the over. But a good one. Oh, that's sloppy from the Morrisville Raptors. A throw at the stumps. There was never a chance of getting the run out, but instead they'll get a single. 21 for none.
1, 2, 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Ball's coming left time around.
Jacobs Pinar. Left arm spinner into the attack. The left arm spinner has bowled the new wall. New will come into the attack for the Raptors. Second spinner being used in this innings.
Yeah, just the one over from Dane P. They're going to go with Obus PNR and just going to keep his shoulder warm with two right-handers in the middle. They're going to fancy the left arm orthodox.
Angling on the leg side, Jesse Bhutan does well, but at the border's end, could have been a run-out chance. I've seen a few wayward throws.
And they're just trying to change the angle up on these two bats. You can see here, Matthew Ford with a quick pickup, the throw, just a touch high, Obus PNR. He's a tall man, and had that been closer to stumps, would have been really interesting.
Oh my golly, Matthew Ford. That's way, way, way over the stumps. About 3 stumps would have been needed to hit that. Shot. Good shot from Bhutan down the track. Using his feet, getting close, and just placing it through the offside. He's a good player from Trinidad and Tobago, Jesse Bhutan.
I think the most impressive thing about that shot is that he adjusted to it midair. Saw the movement, Obus PNR, trying to push it wide. And you can see there, just used the feet, adjusted the bat swing, and got it in the gap 4 runs. Jesse Bhutan, what a shot.
Goes again this time. Inside out, astonishing from Bhutan. Making a light work of this chase so far, the Atlanta Lightning.
Glorious shot there. Might have been the best one that we saw. Back-to-back boundaries for Jesse Bhutan. Like you mentioned, in to out against Obus PNR. With no fielders in the deep. Just had to get it over the infield. Does that with quite ease. And one bounce over the rope for 4.
Full toss, and it's more runs. Make that the 3rd boundary in succession for the Lightning. Too easy for Jesse Bhutan. Not best bowling from Jacobs Pinar.
Usually he's keeping it on a length, Obus PNR. He usually keeps it good length and quick. This time he went with the full toss, and it was width on offer as well. And Bhutan far too good to miss out on that one. Just carving it, showing the touch that he has, and just lets it go for 4. 3 consecutive boundaries, as you mentioned, Nikhil. And light work being made of this chase here for the Lightning.
Well stopped that cover, but they're going to get through for the single. Mark Parchment is very quick between the wickets. Jesse Bhutan, this is a stellar innings from him so far. Run rate over 12 when they only require 6.5 from here on in. Tells you just need 1 big over when you're chasing a score below par. Our score here for teams batting first, 163 coming into this. Very full, and Parchment getting 1, and will retain the strike for the next over. 14 runs from Pinar's first, 36 for none.
Atlanta Lightning, they haven't lost any of the wickets. They've kept them in hand, fairly different to what's happening yesterday. They were 19 for 3 in the power play, already 36 runs, and it's because of the star Jesse Bouton has gone off to 22 from 9, 3 consecutive boundaries. And that previous over, Mark Parchment, 12 off of 9 as well. Again, as we mentioned, it was 19 for 3 at the end of 6 for the Lightning yesterday. Already here at the end of 3 overs, 36 runs on the board with no wickets down. Matthew Ford comes into the attack for the Raptors. So just 1 over spells for the first 2. You might presume the first 3 bowlers that they've used.
Yeah, yesterday was Jesse Bouton with his 52 that helped rebuild the innings from 19 for 3 after the power play. Matthew Ford into the attack. Run out chance at the bowler's end. Has he got it? Just back in time, says the umpire. Ford was very confident, picked up well, and caught Bouton by surprise.
Real athleticism here. You can see here, hit back to Matthew Ford, realizes Bouton is out. Yeah, and well short of his ground there. Jesse Bouton, fortunate the umpire didn't lift the finger. And again, all the umpire's calls are final. No third umpire here in minor league cricket.
Direct hits, always so interesting. My goodness, that is full of class, oozing with class from Mark Parchment. And Matthew Ford can only congratulate Parchment on that. Sometimes the batter, he just wins the battle. That's one of the occasions.
What a shot indeed, Nikhil. Maybe the shot of the day. Got it on a length and just helps it over the top and just times it to perfection over the side screen for 6 runs. Mark Parchment hasn't been amongst the runs as of late, but look at that shot. You can tell the class on this man.
Good luck fetching that. You really timed that well, Mark Parchment. Matthew Ford, well, sometimes can't do much about it. It was hit on the up. The length wasn't terribly wrong from Ford. Mark Parchment is such a good young player. 85 from 51. That was such a good innings against the Atlanta Fire. On the up, not too full. That was on a good length.
I don't think it's a new bowler, but it's still newish.
And he just placed it over the side screen. So they finally got the ball back.
Yeah. Go.
Another chance at a run-up, Matthew Ford. Another direct hit. I'm going to tell you, boy, this command is something else. Second direct hit in the over. Should have had his man in the first one. That time, though, Mark Parchment well home.
Well, Nikhil, I think he heard you earlier when you said that he had thrown the ball about 3 stumps too high. Well, now he's hitting the base of the stumps directly on back-to-back occasions. Putting pressure on these Lightning runners, saying, don't try to test my arm out there in the deep or as I'm chasing the ball once I've delivered it.
It's extremely talented Matthew Ford. 3 wickets yesterday, as well as 22 runs to win the game for his team. Full of celebrations at the end. Remember, he's just brought in for these 2 weekends before the CPL as a replacement for Colin Archibald, who's expected to come back in the team, but he's really been just what they were looking for in terms of his all-round ability. So much talent coming out of Barbados. And yesterday he was very upset because I said he took 17 wickets in 2021. He took 20, correcting myself. 20 wickets in the 2020 minor league season. It goes straight up. But he has enough on it, Jesse Bouton, to take it over the man and into the boundary. They're going to be future teammates, Bouton and Ford, for the St. Lucia Kings. But Matthew Ford won't be a happy man.
Well, he'll be bringing some extra substance into those practice sessions. I'll tell you that much after what Bouton has been doing to the Morrisville Raptors. This one, just the latest. Nowhere near the middle of the bat, but a big swing, a lot of power, and no chance for Fine Leg, who just never found it. A couple of bounces over the rope. 4 more runs for the bat of Jesse Bouton.
Much better from Matthew Ford to close out the over. That ends with a dot, but 11 from it, 47 for none.
And if you take a look at the table, this match doesn't do a lot for the Atlanta Lightning if they were to win it. They'd just be third and end the season on a high. The Raptors with the win today would jump to that #1 seed. And you can see out there in the East, the New Jersey Stallions, they've clinched that first seed. The Manhattan Yorkers, they'll be the second. And so you just see a combination of New Jersey, Morrisville, Manhattan, and Atlanta.
Well, Jesse Boutin was brought in to this Atlanta Lightning team as a replacement for Shamar Springer, and is on the back of that brilliant T10 he had back in Trinidad and Tobago. One of those innings, 60 from 18 deliveries, a strike rate of over 300, and he's showing you, as he's now striking at over 200, but he's showing you why he's been brought in for the Lightning. Didn't get much opportunities with the bat in hand, but in these last 2 games has made a real difference. 50 yesterday and already a start today.
Yeah, he's looked so good. He'll be back on strike, facing Abhiram Bolasetti, who's just looking to find some rhythm, a change of ends for him. And again, for Abhiram Bolasetti, it's just about finding your length, finding your line. But Boutin, the way he's batting, the form he's in, just have to imagine he's going to take it to the youngster.
You want to build on this season as well. Picked up the 50, but also in his very first innings against the Atlanta Fire, 32 not out in just 17 deliveries. He's known for his power hitting ability. Has struck 6 mat zones in the tournament. Off the pad, just be a single. Parchment has taken a back seat. Not often we hear that. Mark Parchment's such an exciting player. Has been in the runs this year, was leading the run scoring chart in the Atlantic Conference for a brief period. 322 runs for Parchment. 3 50s as well. 72 not out against the Orlando Galaxy, 56 against the Cavaliers, and also 85, his best innings against the Atlanta Fire in a game which was a loss. Again, the bowling letting them down, getting to 193. Well stopped again. An extra cover. The way that they're hitting this ball does take some stopping.
Yeah, don't want to be on the receiving end of some of these strikes off the bat. Again, width on offer and just slapped through that cover area. But again, putting the body on the line, even in this final game, are the Morrisville Raptors. Game that really doesn't mean much. That's Aryan Shah there in a short cover.
Come on!
Well, just 97 runs, 96 now runs to win. And Hatchet Hamilton will be sitting in the Atlanta Lightning dugout. And he'll want to keep his record going. 5 consecutive 50s, but they're not giving him much runs to get. There he is, Hatchet Hamilton with the pads on. He'll want to come in and get another 50 under his belt, but he'll want his team to get the win most importantly. First season in the Lightning uniform.
And what a revelation he's been as of late. And he's a big part of that late push from the Lightning to be into this position here in Morrisville. They had an opportunity to clinch a ticket into the playoffs, and he's a big part of why they had something to bowl at yesterday. Without his 50, it could have been a much easier chase for the Morrisville Raptors.
Well, not good bowling from Bolasetti. Just too easy for Jesse Boutin. It's gone all the way for 6. Just too far down the leg side, and he just helps it along. It's way Jesse Boutin. He strikes at 150 coming into this. This will help his strike rate and his confidence going into the CPL.
Yeah, just struggling with the line and the length here. Abhiram Bolasetti. It was short down the leg side, and again, with the form Boutin is in, the confidence he's playing with is never going to miss out on something like that.
Nicked and gone. The finger goes up. A wicket. Finally for Abhiram Bolasetti. Boutin will be disappointed after the way he struck it. A good way to end the over. An outside edge being found. And Jesse Bhutan's got to go.
Finally, what they were looking for, the Raptors, to break this partnership. Just the under part of the bat. You can see a hand come off of it. And the Huda Malanta, no mistakes behind. Abhiram Bolasetti gets that wicket he's most desperately looking for and just boosts the confidence for young Abhiram. At the end of 5 overs is 57 for the loss of 1.
Guys, just a little bit more energy, okay? Just help the bowling. It's not nice bowling when there's no sort of wicket. Okay? Let's go. Lefty and lefty. Over? Forward? Can you peek? Shot. Oh, no, not right now. Maybe get there, but not right now. Righty or straight?
So a wicket from Bolasetti. A little bit expensive so far. 21 runs in his 2 overs. But it's nice to see Abhiram with the ball for more than just 1 over in this game.
He hasn't bowled much here as of late. Didn't bowl in Atlanta, didn't bowl in Orlando. Only bowled 1 over before that and 1 over on Friday. So it's good to get to see him with the ball, and it'll be Matthew Ford to continue. Look sharp in his first over, just had that 1 big 6 hit. That's just all class there from Mark Parchment.
That was a massive 6. That cleared everything.
Well, this time it's pulled into the leg side, and no fielder there, but wicket is going to be another boundary, and this time another maximum off the bat of Mark Parchment. What a shot that was.
Now this is a big 6 here. We were just talking about a big 6. That one hitting the base of the wall out on the east of the ground. The wall that holds up Church Street Park, or still holds up Church Street itself.
Again into the leg side. There's a deep square leg, but it won't matter. All he can do is go and fetch it. It's another boundary. It's another 4 runs for Mark Parchment. He's not letting it come easy for Matthew Ford.
Parchment likes that end of the ground. It is a beautiful part of the ground over there, right past that retaining wall.
And again, for Matthew Ford, he wasn't a part of any minor league team this year up until just a week ago. He just would be looking for a little bit of momentum to carry into the CPL.
Yeah, he's always capable of taking a wicket. He can get hit around a little bit and then just end someone's innings with the very next ball.
And this is the wicket that Abhiram Bolasetti took of Jesse Bhutan. And again, you can see Abhiram Bolasetti subdue celebration because he knows the kind of destruction Bhutan was placing, and this time it's Parchment placing it. This time 2 fielders out into that region, that area of the ground.
There's Bolasetti throwing it back in.
And Nate, I want to ask you, as we see Hanchard Hamilton come on to strike, and the Raptors, who feel very behind in this chase, need something special to stop it. How important is it for the Raptors to get a win and just carry this momentum into next season, into the playoffs rather?
Well, they'll want to win, I think, but they're good at creating their own momentum. They're a very tight unit. The captain believes in everybody on this team and makes it known that he believes in everybody on this team, but they also have to be responsible, and they know that too.
Well, Hanchard Hamilton, who coming into the day through 29 matches has scored 636 runs. There's 4 more to the total. He's had 5 consecutive 50s, and he doesn't have many runs to go from here, but what a shot that was to open up his account.
Just joining up with Mark Parchment. He's been watching him have fun, and he decides he's going to join right in. Going to keep the kids at the ground busy fetching the balls.
Yeah, you always get to see a big crowd of youths go over to fetch a ball that's hit past the boundary rope. Matthew Ford just erring in the line and length. He's got to find rhythm and find a better area to bowl. Can't bowl there to Hamilton. That's a good length there. Found the outer part of the bat. Quick single taken. Direct hit might have been something.
Well backed up there. Chinmay putting his body in front of that to back it up. When you know everybody's going to sell out to back up a ball, you know, it just allows you to just take that chance, try to get that run out. Bolisetti just missing there.
Would have been well in, even had it been a direct hit. But as you mentioned, that backup is so important when you want to take those throws and fire them in on the stumps. Goes short, and it is going to be deemed one for the over there. So that'll do it for the over. No, excuse me, there'll be one left here in this 6th over.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to some new fans. There's the short ball. Look at that. Just over his head. Quite short. Testament to the bounciness of this ground.
And that was the end of the over. Wide was not given, so 6 overs gone. 73 for the loss of 1.
Let's go, Murli Krish, Anna. Go, Anna.
And that's the end of the power play. Let's take a look at the Manhattan over by over chart. Yeah, very big contrast between Atlanta Lightning's innings and the Morrisville Raptors power play. Look at all those peaks there. It's looking very grim right now for the Morrisville Raptors. Half of the chase finished in the first 6 overs.
And the Raptors will be hoping for some valleys to go along with those peaks as they bring in Murli Krishna Ankaraju, who hasn't bowled much here. Bowled just the 1 over to the Manhattan Yorkers. Should have had the wicket of Bhaskar Yadam. It was dropped from his over, and then Bhaskar Yadam proceeds to hit 3 boundaries in the over as well. So the record won't look as good as he bowled in that 1 over, but he's been given an opportunity with the ball here. The final match of the Raptors regular season.
We need another one in, Krish. Third man up, third man up.
Yeah, Krish, you can hear him being called Krish by his captain, Dane Pete, there via the stump mic. Here's a good look at Hamilton talking it up with Lahiru. Yeah, I wonder what they're saying to each other right now. I'm sure it's fairly friendly. It's tough to not be friendly to Lahiru.
Lahiru always smiling, and Hanchard Hamilton, also a wicketkeeper who's very active and vocal behind the stumps, so always good to have those battles within this clash between these two sides. Murli Krish, ball in hand. Gives some width. It's helped through the covers. Power play is over, so they're only going to get 1 out there to sweep recover. And Krish usually keeps it full, usually on the slower end of the spectrum.
Yeah, he can take wickets, though. And the Raptors are definitely going to need that. Slow with the ball, sharp with the mind. Murli Krishna Ankaraju.
This one on the legs. It's just helped down the leg side. Gonna be 1 run, and again, the Raptors, they'll just take singles. They know they need wickets, but they'll be happy as long as the boundaries aren't flowing.
Absolutely. Going down the leg there. Straightened up a little bit, actually, but still. You heard a little bit of a shout, but you didn't see that visual shout. You just no arms extended.
This one just pushed back as Krish makes his up the length there. Just help back down the ground. This is exactly the over the Raptors would have wanted. An over that just slows things down and as they try to reel back this run chase.
They would have loved this in one of the first 6 overs.
Halfway. Thank you. Halfway.
But it was not to be. This is why the Lightning are so dangerous. They might be having the best batting wicket of the day, though. At the end of this day, it started with a lot of moisture on the wicket.
Your head. Keep wishing. That's why you're over there, sir.
Yeah, and again for the Morrisville Raptors, just trying to restrict this Atlanta Lightning team. Looks to go out with a bang. As this one's pushed down the ground here from Mark Parchment. Again, the runs just starting to dry up a bit.
Yeah, good stuff here from Murali Krishnagaraju. Krish, as he's called by Dane Pete.
And again, mixes it up, it goes a little bit wider. Quick single taken. Matthew Ford, his throws have been so good all day long. The direct hits, this one just shy of the stumps. And that'll be the end of the 7th over. 78 for the loss of 1.
Another nice day at Church Street Park. Get a little bit darker than normal outside at this point. Hunter Hamilton in right now with Mark Parchment. Mark Parchment's been excellent. Jesse Bouton really went quick. 32 from 16. Rakeem Cornwall-esque innings from him. Only 1 loss for 78. This is about as good as it gets for a start.
And wickets in hand, that's the key. We've seen the teams that have chased down scores. It's the wicket in hands, as you see. It's a family affair here at Church Street Park. And Nate, I think she's looking for the stream to hear some of Nate Hayes, her favorite analyst from minor league cricket.
I think she's probably playing, you know, some candy game or something. What's that thing called?
Well, we gotta love all those video games. And it's Rohan Fudke, a youngster with the ball in hand. Starts off full, starts off straight, and this is what they're gonna want. Again, you can see Lahiru Malanta keeping up to Rohan Fudke, so not the paciest of members in this Raptor setup, but he's someone who does keep it pretty consistent.
Yeah, you got to think they struggled a little bit with Murali Krishnagaraju. It's a good idea to go right back from the other end with Rohan Fudke. Double down on this medium pace here. Rohan, we know, is a good wicket taker. He's a very athletic cricketer. I love the opportunity I'm getting now to highlight Rohan Fudke.
Again, pushed as straight as you like, back down the ground. It's going to be some work for Long Gone, who does well. It's Obis PNR with the long strides. He would have saved that one for being 4 runs.
Yeah, yesterday we saw Rohan's athleticism, that amazing catch he took, diving to his right in the covers.
It always feels like Rohan Fudke is a part of the game and changes the game. That catch, we saw a run out of Abiram Valasamagari against the Yorkers on July 4th weekend, and that wicket kind of cemented the Raptors' win. Look at that delivery. Pull the length back and just nips away a bit. Evades that outside edge of Hanchard Hamilton.
Yeah, we also saw that great catch in the super over Rohan took. Look at that, just missing the edge there. That'll be a great wicket to get Hanchard Hamilton. As quality of a player as he is.
That time it was the leg cutter, but Hanchard Hamilton got onto it quickly and gets all of it. How about this one? Go fetch it, Obis PNR. That's a huge 6.
Just demolished that one. Long off. Here we go. Look at this. Whoa, what a shot.
Yeah, he picked the leg cutter early. He's able to get underneath it. And again, Hanchard Hamilton, you can't keep him quiet for so long.
That's a Ryan Scott style shot right there. Ryan Scott of the Michigan Cricket Stars, known for blistering the ball.
This one just out. Talbiram Bolasetti, Ron Fudke's under-19 counterpart. Their backward point.
Actually, 3 players from this community made it to the USA U19 national team this year. Rohan Fadki, Abaram Bolasetti, and Adi Gupta, who is currently nursing an injury, I believe.
This one on the legs, helped into the leg side. Rohan Fadke, he's off in a flash to keep it to just one. You can see him slide into your screen at the end of it as Aditya Badala picks it up, and that'll be the end of the 8th over. It's 88 for the loss of 1.
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
Looking back to Church Street Park, and the Atlanta Lightning, they just need 59 from the final 12 overs, so they'll feel well in front with 9 wickets in hand. Murali Krishnan Karaju going to continue. They struggled with him early. His first over just went for 5 runs, so they're hoping the Raptors that they can do something similar in Krish's over.
Go, go, go.
And just pushed into the leg side. Murali Krishnan Karaju giving chase. He gets there, and going to be 2 runs. Again, exactly what you need if you're the Lightning. Just need to find ways to score runs. Don't need them in boundaries. Plenty of time to score those 57 runs now.
Yeah, Dane Pete told me yesterday that the culture of the team is that they never give up. They never feel like they're out of the game. This is a serious test for that mentality, with Atlanta Lightning only 1 wicket down, needing less than 5 runs and over.
Yorksome, Murali Krishnan Karaju, but good enough, Mark Parchment, to dig it out for 1 down the ground. And it's just good batting here from the Lightning, understanding the situation, not going to swing and throw their wicket away. They're just going to play smart cricket.
Yeah, look at that, digs it right out. Managing to score a single off of a nice ball like that, that's a little bit of an accomplishment there. The Raptors definitely want to take wickets now, get themselves in the game.
This one area for a moment, and just away from covers, and Matthew Ford, who can't quite hold on to it cleanly. And that's why you heard the little wait call, because you never want to test the arm of Matthew Ford. He's already shown off his ability to hit the stumps directly. Should have had his man with his first hit.
Look at this. Sliding beautifully, taking it beautifully, but as he comes up, it slips right out of his hands. It was going to be a dot ball if he hadn't dropped it.
This one crushed into the leg side. He split the gap. Has he got all of it? Oh, that's good work from Aditya Badala out of the deep. Paddles it over to Rohan Fadke and saves 2 runs.
And that right there, that's a dynamic duo of outfielders. Aditya Badala, Rohan Fadke, 2 of the best there are.
Again, it looked almost like this was going to go for sure. Aditya Badala sliding stop, pushes it over, and Rohan Fadke able to fire it back in, keeps it to just 2 runs. Again, pushed into the leg side. They're going in that same area. They're going to try 2, but Aditya Badala too quick. The ball has a good arm as well. Don't want to test him.
Yeah, you saw him hit the stumps, direct hit. A couple of overs back. I guess about 3-4 overs back now. Just missed getting his guy.
Yeah, not sure if that throw is necessary, but he did show what he can do with the throw. Maybe the fastest member of this Raptors team. Place first, that beep test. As this one is down the ground. Has he got all of it? It's in that same general area, and as Rohan Fadke with the catch. Didn't have to worry about the boundary boards. The second wicket goes. This time it's Murali Krishnan Karaju who gets his man to end the 9th over.
Yeah, watching the fielders converge there on that, I was hoping we were going to see a tandem catch. But it didn't have enough wheels on it, didn't have enough gas behind it, didn't have enough of that Sunoco gas behind it.
And again, Rohan Fadke got into position early, took the catch, and also very wary of that boundary board. Made sure he didn't overstep over there. And that'll be the end of the 9th over as Mark Parchment departs. That is the, Hanchard Hamilton departs for 17 off 12. It's 95 for the loss of 2.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
Come on now, boys.
So we welcome you back to Church Street Park, where we might just have another twist in the tail. The second wicket falls here for the Atlanta Lightning. And the Morrisville Raptors, they're able to refuel, and refueling like Sunoco through Sunoco, and getting that second wicket and maybe coming on with the late push here. Just 52 runs required from the final 11 overs. You would assume that the Lightning can go into cruise control, almost like they're in their Toyota Tundra, and cruise over to victory.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, cruising over their over to victory. Reading some DAFA news on the way.
Yeah, Mark Parchment sure to make the pages of DAFA News. 41 from 26. He's on as Sagar Patel, who usually opens for the Lightning. He's in.
Yeah.
This one pushed into the offside. They're going to go ahead and push for 2. Test Aditya Badala's arm. They're going to go ahead and get it. It's good running here from the Lightning. And you can see the wicket here. Murali Krishnankaraju, his first of the season. Andrew Hamilton just looked to go big. He had 5 consecutive 50s coming into the day. This time all he could do was pick out Rohan Fudke, and that'll end his streak here at the tail end of the year.
Yeah.
Just pushed back down the ground. Rohan Fudke with ball in hand now. Again, him, Murali Krishnankaraju, making a great pair with the ball.
Yeah, and we've got, as you said, we got Sagar Patel in there, one of the batting leaders on this team. Yeah. Sagar Patel, yeah, one of the leaders on this team. Doesn't score at a huge rate. Certainly doesn't need to here when they can run 2 like this.
Well, a better throw might have been close. Lahiru Malantu, athletic effort there. Abiram Bolazetti came charging in and threw it in without settling. But had that one been over top stumps, might have just been interesting. Take a look here. One-handed pickup and throw. It's just a little high for Lahiru Malanta. And yes, had that been closer to stumps, I think it might have been the end.
Yeah, not a terrible throw, not a bad throw at all. When you're running to your right, throwing across yourself. I made the comparison yesterday, kind of like an infielder on the left side of the infield in baseball. Like maybe a shortstop charging in or something across yourself.
And this one helped through the leg side, just staying in line. Rohan Fudke, and far too easy for any bat for this Atlanta Lightning team, especially for Mark Parchment, who's well into the 40s, moves to 47 with that shot. What a shot that is indeed.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to bowl it right there.
Yeah, just straight down the leg side, and in correction, that was a maximum, so 49. He's just 1 away here. Mark Parchment. Runs have been hard to come by for him as of late in this tournament. But we know the quality of bat he is. You saw that straight shot. He's 1 away here.
Go.
And that'll be it as Rohan Fudke slips over it. Mark Parchment, he brings up his 50 in just 29 deliveries. 3 4s, 3 6s to his name. And he's just been unbelievable for the Atlanta Lightning. You see the bat raise there. What a knock it's been.
Yeah, these two, Sagar Patel and Mark Parchment, the runs leaders for the Lightning. Parchment going at a faster rate typically, and today he's really been fast.
Wait!
Been fast indeed, and again, he's really been a big part of this Lightning's chase, and that'll be the end of the 10th over. He did just bring up his 50 before that 10th over mark. 107 for the loss of 2.
Did he continue? Yeah, of course. Why not? Somebody got a wicket.
You hear the chatter there on the ground. Dane Pete talking to his team. Doesn't feel like he's out of it. Morrisville Raptors batting from the first innings there.
Mark, you tired? Mark, you tired? And Shiv. And Shiv.
Why are you breathing so heavy?
Lahiru with his 29 from 15. Abdullah Shah slowing things down, 7 from 15. Jacobus Pinar with his 53 from 32. And Aryan Shah, 27 from 23. And there's the worm chart. We see Atlanta ahead all along as Parchment continues.
They've been ahead all throughout this run chase, and again, a 4 to start the innings off, and they just never let up the pressure. Morrisville Raptors unable to take wickets, and Murali Krishnan Karaju just took a wicket in his own right. Can he pick up wicket number 2 for him, number 3 for the team, and just reel this match back in? It's just 39 runs that separate the Atlanta Lightning from this total.
Yeah, Lightning needing less than 4 and over.
This one helped around the corner, split the infield. Chase, work to be done. Chinmay Kushada, he's quick. He's able to stop it and keep it to just a couple of runs there. Again, finding ways to pick gaps, the Atlanta Lightning, finding ways to score runs, and again, they're just cruising along for this chase.
Yes, indeed, cruising along. We saw Abdullah Shah running along with the fielder. Abdullah's got a cannon. I want to see him express it today.
Yeah.
Well, the Atlanta Lightning, they're just expressing their ability to score runs. Quick throw comes in, but a little bit wayward. Backup is there, though. Keeps it to just 1.
Yeah, because they were running so hard for that single, because it was close, they weren't going to come back and take 2 as long as someone was there to back it up at some point.
And this one just straying down the leg side, and look at that, big and bigger here from the Atlanta Lightning. This one again off the bat of Mark Parchment, and he just sends this one huge over that backward square region of the ground.
Look at that, just swiveling, smashing it off of the pavement there. The ball is certainly going to be scratched a little bit.
Well, there is Nikhil. I think he's looking at the stream here, Nate. I think he's just trying to see how big was that 6.
Well, maybe in the meantime, Mark Parchment adds another single to his total. And Nikhil, I think he was probably on Instagram. I think that's a safe bet.
All those followers out there, he's got to keep them entertained. Nikhil, a star in his own right, and right now it's the Lightning who are just starring, and it's Mark Parchment starring in this chase, making things look easy.
Yeah.
This one pushed back down the ground to end the 11th over. It'll be a single to end it. Another good over for the Atlanta Lightning. 119 for the loss of 2 after 11.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
Well, you can see the youth here in for today's match. Might be a little bit disappointed with the way the Raptors have played so far, because right now, like the Toyota Tundra's cruise control, it's the Lightning that's just been cruising, and they're clearly about to get over the line. 9 overs, scored 28 runs, and unless Abhiram Bolasetti was able to refuel at Sunoco and come up with something special, it's going to be really tough for the Raptors to pull something special.
It definitely will be. I love when we get to see the youth at the ground. It makes me wonder where's the next U19 player coming from in this area for USA. We might have just seen them in the crowd right there.
That's a very exciting thought. Dane Pete, again, the way they say here in Morrisville, the game is never over. He always says that his team never believes they're out of it. And like you said, who amongst this group will be the next Abhiram Bolasetti?
Wait on.
He starts well here, right over the top, the off stump.
His bowling chances have been limited this season. We often say he's known as a bowler, but honestly, how many times has Abraham Bolasetti reinvented himself?
Yeah, again, he's someone who, when he first started playing, was a pace bowler and was a top order batted atop the order all his life, and readjusted to batting lower down the order, brought more power into his shot selection. But he's always maintained his status with the ball. As this one is pushed into the infield, just away from that fielder. And they're coming back for two. This is good running here from the Atlanta Lightning, taking on the fielders. Maybe a bit lax in the field there, the Morrisville Raptors. And again, the Lightning, they're taking advantage of everything.
Yeah, and they don't even have to, but they are anyways because they're an aggressive team. And that's what you do. You want to improve your totals. There's that throw from Aryan Shah. I mean, sorry, from Abdullah Shah. I was just praising his throwing arm a minute ago, and there I get a chance to say it, and I mess it up. But here we go. Bolasetti to Sagar Patel.
Pushes out wide. It's just a feather edge. It's a thick enough edge to get it away from Lihido Malanta and keep it away from that deep third. That's going to be 4 runs. A little bit unlucky there from Abraham Bolasetti. Just try to keep it out the arc, but instead gives up 4 runs.
Yeah, a little bit too short there. Cut away. Yeah, I mentioned we talked about Bolasetti and reinventing himself. He's even bowled spin. He even had a spell where he bowled some spin bowling, didn't he, in the league locally?
Yeah, he did. Just had a little bit of a back issue. And so for that period of time, didn't want to miss out on the cricket, so he bowled some off spin. He loves the game, Abraham Bolasetti. Always wants to be around it. Very confident individual as well, and he trusts his abilities. And again, it's just that confidence and swagger that's kept him in the side, and his performances with the bat as well.
And we mentioned who might be the next U19 player from Morrisville, North Carolina. It could be his own brother, Anirudh Bolasetti.
Yeah, cricketing pedigree in that family. And I'm sure any of those might have to say he's not the best bowler. This one angling back into the leg side. You can see Abiram, look how athletic that play was. He tried to get in there. He's always in search of creating a wicket-taking opportunity and try to just get Sagar Patel caught lacking.
He's active. He's always going to give his best. Certainly he's down a little bit about how the game is going, but he's still going to look for that chance to express that anger in the field, try to get a wicket, try to make a big play. You see him throw the ball hard and run for the ball hard.
Well, Sagar Patel, he also might be a touch frustrated. Hasn't really come on this season in the way he would have wanted to. Again, hasn't been as free-flowing as he was last year, and as of late, kind of been struggling. And that's going to be a no, Abraham Bolasetti. He hit the stumps with his back leg on the way through, and that is a no ball for all you new fans watching. Not only is it overstepping and throwing it right on above the waist, also, if you hit the stumps on the way through.
Well, that's one way to get the zing stumps and the zing bails off. Just knock them off with your knee. He's maybe a little bit frustrated because he's not doing it with the ball, but we get to see some flashes right there.
Well, Sagar Patel did well enough to get bat over there to backward point, so that means it'll be Mark Parchment on strike to face this delivery, a free hit, and he's already scored 58. You got to think, where is this delivery going to go?
Yeah, this is the right guy to be on strike for this ball right now. You mentioned Sagar Patel struggling a little bit. I think he's actually been pretty solid. He's given this team the job that they've needed from him, which is kind of just glue the innings together and let everybody else go for it. It's a job that gets no praise at all, but here we go. Here's the job that does get praise.
Well bowled there from Abraham Bolasetti. Went for the wide Yorker, went to keep it out of the arc, and a good way to end that 12th over. 12 overs gone, 127 for the loss of 2.
Yeah, because that is the long side anyway. Yeah. Use whatever side.
And there we are. The worm, it's just a 45-degree line right now. Just going straight up for Atlanta Lightning. They haven't really dipped at all. Only 20 needed to win here. There's some locals enjoying the game.
Yeah, enjoying the game again. We're just kind of hoping that the Raptors will be able to get a win, and no big board here at Hershey Park. So they can't see it, but I'm sure they can tune in on the screen. I think they just picked up the cameraman late as Rohan Fudke is being brought back on to bowl.
I was talking to that pair about the game. They had a couple of questions about the rules. Seemed very curious about it. It's great to see that. We see that fairly often here. People stopping by to see what's going on, learning about the game.
And you can still hear Dane Pete in the stump mic. And again, you talked about the mentality of this Raptors team was you never feel like you're out of the game. It doesn't feel like Dane Pete thinks they're out of this game quite yet, even though it's pretty much all but written.
Well, as long as the game's going on, Dane's got some work to do. That's for sure.
Pushed into the offside this time, and like you mentioned, just pushing the ball around. They're just finding ways to score. That was Sagar Patel, who's just doing the job you were talking about. Does all the dirty work, as you would say. Keeps the runs flowing. Hasn't been the free-flowing stroke player he was last year, where he scored 100 in minor league. He's taken a different role, a different approach, and he's played it quite well.
Yeah, he's played it to the tune of being amongst the top 2 batters on his team in runs.
This one, touch aerial, but into the gap. Didn't quite carry over to the fielder, but Rohan Fudke showing some good things with the ball. He hasn't been on the team in the last couple of weeks, and you're just thinking, with his ability to bowl, you might just consider him to be another player you could add to this 11, and maybe with his ability to open the innings, bring him in that number 3 spot that's been so highly questioned.
Well, that's a very good point.
This time, splits the gap inside, gonna find sweeper cover, and Abhiram Bolaseti for 1. And this one goes on to the stumps, and they're gonna be able to take an extra 2 unforced errors for the Morrisville Raptors.
Bolaseti not done watching the bails and the stumps glow.
Maybe for the wrong reasons. You can see here, throw fired in, and just that extra bounce there in front of Lahidu Malanta somehow nutmegs Lahidu Malanta and goes on to stumps.
Oh, yes. Rohan!
Everybody likes watching those things light up.
Well, not when they're for the wrong reasons. Abhiram Bolaseti seen him light up for 2 of the wrong reasons. The direct hit always great, but when they're in the crease and they get another one, not the result you're looking for. Also hit it with his back foot, gave up a no ball. As this one is pushed back down the ground, and Rohan Fudke, good hands there.
Yeah, we can see Rohan Fudke. There's a reason he made that USA U19 team. He can do a little bit of everything. He is a good bowler. He performed quite well USA U19 Nationals as a bowler.
Well, look at this into the leg side. Gonna just go and find the fielder, but Mark Parchment, he's put it on an absolute display so far. Moves into the 60s with that shot, and that'll end the 13th over. It's 133 for the loss of 2.
There we see Mark Parchment's 60 from 35. Still going strong after opening the innings with Jesse Patan, who scored 32 from 16. The boost that they needed just to make this a coast for them. Hunter Hamilton, 17 from 12. Sagar Patel currently 18 from 16. Just the steady presence he's been all season. And there's the Raptors bowling numbers. Abhiram Bolaseti with a wicket. Murali Krishna Karaju with a wicket, but everybody has been fairly expensive. Only Murali Krishna Ankaraju less than 9 runs per over.
And I like to see this from Dane Pete, continuing with Abhiram Bolaseti to bowl his final over. Again, hasn't been as consistent as you would have liked, but you want to give your youngsters as much confidence, as much opportunity as you can, because you know you're gonna need somebody else in the playoffs to step up, and you might need to call upon your young right arm seamer.
Yeah, there's Dane directing traffic right there with those giant shades. He has a few different styles of those.
Good delivery this from Obiran Bolasetti. Thought about the throw as well. Talking about Dane Styles, has the Patrick Mahomes hair and glasses. It's a great combination to have there for Dane Pete.
Yeah, he likes Patrick Mahomes too, so maybe that has something to do with it.
There you go, the big blue shades on the Morrisville Raptors captain. As this one gonna go into the leg side, but much better start here for Obiran Bolasetti. You can see the plan is to bowl those Yorkers. We've seen him bowl plenty of Yorkers here at Church Street Park, and he's doing it quite well at the moment.
Yes, he is. Right there into the body, right up into the ribs. Kicked up into the ribs there. Never a good feeling, even when you're on 60 from 37.
And you can see the movement early there from Mark Parchment. Obiran Bolasetti keeping it out of the arc, and it's called wide there. And have to re-bowl it. Free runs here for the Atlanta Lightning.
Let's see, Parchment charges this one. Yeah, and it was wide when it struck, when it pitched, and went even wider afterwards.
A little bit of late movement for Obiran Bolasetti off of the wicket. This one just a little bit of bat on it. And good work there for fine leg just to keep it from going all the way along the ground to the boundary. Again, there's just a feather edge back. So Obiran Bolasetti's come back after being expensive in his first.
Yeah, not a great weekend right now. Not a great close to the weekend, I should say. A great weekend, but not a great close to the weekend for the Raptors. But this has been a good over here for Bolasetti. A great way to end for him.
This one width on offense, just squeezed away from third man inside the ring. And good effort from looks like Chinmay Kushade out on the deep, keeping it from being 4, showing what he can do in the field. Saves 2 runs there. And again, look at the effort here from Chinmay Kushade. Just goes and saving 2 runs. And even if you are the Morrisville Raptors, you want to make sure, even with just 13 runs being left, that you give all your all out there in the field.
Yeah, they'll be in the playoffs next season, or sorry, next weekend. They'll be in the playoffs, so they want to end on a high note. And this is not going to end that way for them, but let's just at least end on a couple of good overs, right?
Yeah, that's got to be the idea for the Morrisville Raptors. As we're heading towards the end of this 14th over, just 10 runs left to be had. And this chase looks pretty easy for Obiran Bolasetti with the ball in hand. He's just looking to end this over nicely. And again, it's just been in cruise control like that Toyota Tundra.
Yeah.
And that one full and straight, pushed into the offside, and that'll be the end of the 14th over. 138 for the loss of 2.
So we're happy with that. If next week push comes to shove, okay? This week I'm gonna work on it. My boy.
Ja. Hij daait van een kort en wij.
En kort is fucking in je vol in mijn jacht. Raar.
Well, this one been a walk in the park for the Atlanta Lightning. Run Fadke into the attack. Just 9 needed to win this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. Wouldn't be possible without our corporate sponsors. Toyota, Sunoco, Dafa News, of course. Sagar Patel, different role for him today in at number 4, but he's done extremely well to ensure that there were no hiccups in this run chase, that they got over the line.
Well, didn't have much to do because of the start. Mark Parchment and Jesse Bouton got off too. Jesse Bouton, 32 from 16, and Mark Parchment, of course, 63 from 40. They held wickets in hand, and that power play was an effective one for the Lightning. And with that good start, just had to see their way over the line.
Has looked to go big, but hasn't quite got the right timing on that. Parchment has been a good innings from him, a good return to runs for Mark Parchment. Got that 85 2 weekends ago, but since has struggled, so he'll be very happy the way he's come back for his team.
Yeah, again, always good to end the season with the high. He's been part of an Atlanta setup for the previous 2 years. Feel good to get this score under his belt. Again, a consolation prize as the season ends.
2 is the call, and they'll get 2 and make that 3 for the Atlanta Lightning. So now just 4 runs away, 1 hit away for the Atlanta Lightning. They want to be on that featured on Dafa News. All the recap, not only from the minor league, but global news. Just 4 runs to win from the remaining 5.5 overs.
And again, how good has Mark Parchment been today? He's putting deliveries all across the park. It has made this a walk in the park for the Atlanta Lightning.
4th 50 it is for Parchment in this tournament. 2 is the call, now just 2 runs away. So Rohan Fadke has been expensive, going at almost 11 runs per over in its economy rate. The youngsters have been given the opportunity today for the Raptors, but it hasn't quite gone their way in this contest.
Yeah, but if you are the Raptors, you feel good that you gave your youngsters those opportunities to get out there and get experience.
Thought delivery, get us a bit of extra bounce. Yeah, will be a game that will help the Raptors figure a few things out going into next weekend. Of course, where they will be in the playoffs. It looks like now they'll finish 2nd in the Southern Division, and they will probably play the New Jersey Stallions.
Yeah, we saw that matchup last year at Church Street Park in the playoffs, and the Stallions absolutely took it to that Morrisville side. So can the Raptors right the wrongs from last year?
Pulled well from Parchment. Just be a single though. So scores level, and he'll retain the strike for the next over. 1 needed from the remaining 5 overs. 146 for 2.
Batter scores 11. Scores 11.
One left. Shaji's not bowling the main. Shaji was walking to that side to bowl.
Well, 2 teams tied on 19 points. The Raptors, they'll lose this game, and their run rate will take a hit as well. So it will mean that the Atlanta Fire will win this Southern Division. Atlanta Lightning, of course, eliminated from this tournament. So these are the 2 teams, the 4 teams: Stallions, Yorkers, Raptors, and Fire. Move on to the next round next weekend.
Some good matchups to be had. The Yorkers will take on the Fire. For Dane Pete, again, just questions will be asked about what will the order be. Will it be the same? Will they change number 3? As you see, Aryan Shah with ball in hand to bowl his first overs with just 1 run left for the Atlanta Lightning to get.
Parchment will want to hit the winning runs. Fittingly, he's played well, ensuring that his team didn't struggle to get this total. And just 1 run away. The inevitable for the Lightning. Dane Pete, well, he's making sure it doesn't come in any quick time. 1 to win.
Yeah.
And there it is. Will be the win for the Atlanta Lightning. And whilst it's just more of a consolation prize, it will be an important result for them as they close out their tournament with a win. They'll feel very happy about that. The Lightning going into next season, the 2023 season. So a good win for the Lightning by some 8 wickets. Morrisville Raptors will be disappointed, but they have qualified for those playoffs, of course.
Yeah, the Lightning, they go off on the right foot. They're able to get that win, and they're able to just go into next season carrying that momentum. For the Raptors, again, they got some experience with some of their youth. They're not going to finish the way they wanted to, but they're looking for next week where they'll go ahead and take on the New Jersey Stallions. And for the Morrisville Raptors, they won't have the likes of Matthew Ford, but they get Colin Archibald back. And again, just some questions maybe up top the order. Number 3, does Rowan Futke come in or not? But it was the story of the Atlanta Lightning and what we saw from none other than Mark Parchment, his 68 from 45. Really sensational.
We just got 2 games remaining in terms of around the USA in this 2022 Toyota Minor League. But from the Atlantic Conference, this officially rounding out the action from this side of things. It's been a real success, this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, the group stages at least. And, well, the Morrisville Raptors will feel good about knowing that they'll be in next week's playoffs. Look at the performance. It was always going to be a run chase on the easier side of things because they were below par, needing just 147 for victory. Once they got a good start from Jesse Bhutan and Mark Parchment, they were well set on their way, and it was all about that start. A good finish, though, by Hamilton and Sagar Patel. The bowling.
Yeah, the bowling just not going the way of the Morrisville Raptors. They went with their youth and just tried to give them opportunities. If you just take a look, Dane Pete just bowled the 1 over, got 9 runs. Aviram Bolasetti was a touch expensive early, but got better as the day proceeded. 4 overs, 34 runs in a wicket. Obis Pinar was expensive in his 1 over. Matthew Ford had 26 runs given up in his 2. Murali Krishnankaraju gets his first wicket in minor league as well. And Aryan Shah just given that 1 delivery to bowl with 1 run left to spare.
Well, it's been a good innings. Thank you, Aman Patel. A good innings from the Morrisville Raptors, but the Atlanta Lightning getting the better of that team today, winning by some 8 wickets. The highlights, starting with an unfortunate injury to Vivek Narayan, who dislocated his shoulder, looking to save a boundary that was painful. Really struggled with that shoulder. Let's hope he's okay. Jesse Bhutan struck a couple of good strikes early. 32 from 17 deliveries. Mark Parchment was a standout today. Got a couple early on off the middle of the bat, which always would help him get the requisite runs for this Lightning team. 32 from 16 deliveries for Jesse Bhutan. He hit 6 boundaries and really took apart his spin. Jacobus Pinar in particular, he was very happy in this over. He hit him for 4 boundaries. And then this was a very important moment, a run out. Jesse Bhutan was short of his ground, wasn't given by the umpire. Mark Parchment, that might have been the shot of the weekend. Back over Matthew Ford's head, went over the side screen. And Jesse Bhutan got a slower delivery, got some fortune, went over the infield into the boundary, and then helped one along its way for all the way for 6. But then Jesse Bhutan had to go, looking to hit one wide, and just got an under edge on it. And a good catch from Milanta in the end, and then Mark Parchment took over. A couple of good strikes off the middle of the bat, and loves that pull shot. Plays it so well. Andrew Hamilton, he's been in real good touch, but he only got 17 today, played a couple big strokes. The Atlanta Lightning were always on top of the rate, even after losing Hamilton. And Andrew Hamilton this was the 50 from Mark Parchment. getting to his 4th half century of the tournament, and a great way to finish for the Atlanta Lightning and ensuring that he was there right to the end, pulling it into the onside. It's a big hit from Mark Parchment. Then finally, Sagar Patel with a good 23-run contribution, and the two put on a 50-run partnership. You can see there, led by Parchment and Jesse Boutin, 32 from just 16 deliveries, helping this team get over the line by some 8 wickets. A good consolation prize for the Atlanta Lightning. Well, joining me inside the commentary box now, Mark Parchment. Mark, 67, a great way for you to end the tournament, 4th 50. How do you feel about your innings today?
I feel really good about my innings, going into the game. I was thinking that I needed some more runs, to add to my tally. The guys came out and gave us some good starts with the bowling at first, chasing 148. Yeah, I just decided to go out there and be positive and try to get some runs.
Well, Mark, it's your 4th 50 in this year's 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. What do you think has went well for you? Watch you against the Atlanta Fire in that 85 scintillating knock. What has gone well for you in terms of your batting in the overall tournament?
I think my technique, I've been working hard throughout the season, trying to get some runs, as I said. Coming into this game here, I just decided to hit some boundaries at first, and then later on in the game, try to push on. The team that I'm playing with, they're very encouraging and always been there for me and always pushing me to do better.
Yeah, talk to me about that. How much have you enjoyed playing with some of the, international players like a Carey Pear, some from the Caribbean? What has been the overall chemistry within the side?
It's been really good, with the likes of Carey Pear, the skipper for us. He's been really intelligent in terms of how we play, and he's been setting the field right. He's been trying to put everything into place for us, and he has a lot of experience, and he shared some of that with us, which was really good.
Finally, last game, you guys got a win, but how disappointing will it be to know that you're not in next week's playoffs because of really and truly 2 games which was affected by inclement weather?
Yeah, really disappointed, but, this is a game of cricket, and sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. But we have like 3 nail-biting games that, we played against Fire and also the Raptors back in Atlanta. Really close games, and, it's just cricket.
Well, Mark Parchment, top-class innings from you today. A very good season, 450s for you. Crossing that 350-run mark. Congrats to you, and we look forward to seeing what you can do in 2023.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Today's man of the match with his half-century, 67 for Mark Parchment, 68 correction from just 45 deliveries. And what does that mean? We have it locked up. The Atlanta Fire, winners of the Southern Division, and they will be taking on the Manhattan Yorkers come next weekend. The home advantage, and from the Morrisville Raptors will play the very strong New Jersey Stallions, who just won also late today here on this Super Sunday in the minor league. Well, another weekend down when you're, the saying, time flies when you're having fun. In 8 weekends of the group stages, it's gone by in a flash. Thanks to all of our corporate sponsors, Toyota, Dafa News, and Sunoco, for letting us bring you the premium coverage week in, and week out. But, ladies and gentlemen, there's a sad time where we have to say goodbye, and that time is now. But don't go too far, because next weekend we'll be back with playoff action. On behalf of the entire production team, it's bye for now.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.